And now, direct from his worldwide tour, we proudly present the one and only Leonard Catskill.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and germs. It's great to be here. Of course, at my age, it's great to be anywhere. But seriously, folks, I'm here to tell you about this new movie. It's called Heartbeeps, and it's about me and my pal. Here's Valentine.
Turn your head around.
I don't want to say he's dim-witted, but he makes an electric toothbrush look like a genius.
Look at mine. My function? To serve as companion and valet. Being programmed to charm was probably an extra expense.
This is Aquacom. She was popular mechanic playmate of the month for June 1994. Did a load of those components. Wowie wow.
Oh, thank you.
And then there's Stilko. He's a great kid, but he had no sense of humor until he met me.
I haven't been this happy since the time I bought a pet skunk. My wife said, "Where do you expect to keep it?" I said, "Under our bed." She said, "What about the smell?" And I said, "You'll have to get used to it, just like I did."
Now the problem is, we're all being chased by this overgrown squad car named Crime Buster.
Don't get excited.
Remain stationary for computer check. While waiting, you may enjoy a brief musical interlude.
He's a cross between Darth Vader and a Sherman tank. I've heard of party crashes, but this is ridiculous. But believe me, folks, this movie's got a lot going for it. There's action, adventure, romance, raccoons, even people. Hey, kid, behave yourself. Oh, yeah, and I'm in the movie, too. But seriously, folks, don't forget to see Universal's new movie, Heartbeat. And it's coming for you-know-when. And speaking of Christmas...
Andy Kaufman, Bernadette Peters, in Heartbeeps, coming this Christmas. It's holiday entertainment for everyone.
So I says, I don't care who you are, Fatso. Get those reindeer off my roof.
So in the event that, you know, future teacher Kiernan has to like deal with shit like this, no mention of drugs or alcohol if we can.
You just mentioned it.
Oh yeah. Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Well,
we're not going to count this.
Man. We're all losing our jobs.
Don't you know what? The last episode is all of that and docking.
It's all about porn, yeah.
That's why I'm trying to be more professional right now.
So what are you saying? You can't talk about what? Drugs?
Alcohol or drugs. Just don't mention that they're in the room.
Have you met Brigham?
I'm not going to be that upset if it happens.
I literally just got
an
argument with
he has much more controversial
rolling a joint in the bar.
topics.
I can see how that could be frowned
upon. It can get a lot worse
than
pot.
In the bar? Like, I'm good to go. Like, you have to go hide. I get why you
have to go hide.
Well, normal people shouldn't be able to. I get that. But,
yeah, because you have the actual medical license, right?
Sorry, I'm not going to like jump over the
guy let me do it.
Table if someone mentions drug or alcohol.
First person who's actually said something to me. No one ever seems to care. I know that this is like, I just want to get a joke out of the way now. Kiernan, can you pass me that heroin and vodka?
Well, I'm assuming all of this is
right
not
behind,
going
it's
to
right
be...
behind that prostitute that you bought.
And the bag of needles.
Yeah.
Keep rolling with that.
Oh, you're not
that bag of needles.
What was that part? That guy's like,
this
I
is
don't
just going to
remember
become the drug
though.
episode. Yeah. I guess they're Steve Buscemi and
you Barbara Streisand.
wedding singer.
does that mean?
Yeah, we met those two.
Now it's all we're gonna
I
be
guess they're
talking about.
prostitutes.
Is
So
that
I don't
like a
remember
butterfly
paying.
effect?
It's like there was something that came out that was embarrassing. Oh, it was her house. She didn't want her house known, like anybody to know where it was or pictures of it or whatever. So by saying nobody take picture of this house, everybody took pictures of it and then everybody looked it up. So like, it's called the Streisand effect.
Well, none of this rambling is going to
So
be
it was
on
like
this
it was
podcast,
like it was like
so-
Trump saying, "Don't buy this book," and then it went from
Oh,
number,
keep off the grass syndrome.
then it went
That's
from
what I
number
call keep off the
3,000
grass
to number
syndrome.
one.
So are you trying
Yeah.
to say that
They probably had something
make
to do
America
with that.
better again
That's
or great again was his ploy to actually make America great again?
No. What?
Are you saying
I'm saying
okay?
you tried to get
that's
people not to buy a book.
I know, but then
That's
if
why I
you
think he owns stock in
extrapolate that out,
I
that randomly
wouldn't be
fell.
surprised.
Me neither.
His slogan is "Make America Great Again." So maybe by having it on his head, because everybody hates his guts, he's hoping everybody else will find a way to make America great again.
Yeah, by putting him in jail.
Have you heard like,
liberally.
that anonymous person that was like is dropping all like these clues and shit?
The
Was
what?
it the theory that somebody like in his camp, that's somebody that kept posting all these cryptic things on 4chan, and I guess like a bunch of them have like come true, or like they'll say something very specific, and then Trump will tweet something like 4 minutes later, and it has that exact thing in it.
Yeah.
It's called Q. Their post says QAnon, or that's what it's called. But
Oh yeah.
you know that one? Yeah.
Well, I imagine that there are people within
There's a lot of
his
shit coming
party
out
that are
now.
trying to take him down.
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of shit.
This
I don't know. A lot of his party is complicit with him now too.
Only
Like,
yeah, but they're in it
Yeah,
deep
but
now.
it's
So like
Exactly.
they're in it for themselves. Like they're
Exactly.
protecting their own asses by like
but
keep
they
it
matter
perpetuating
as
this
well,
lie.
yeah, exactly. They have to protect him to
Watch
protect
anything
themselves.
with Trey Gowdy in like before this administration, and you'll find out that your precious.
So the
Obama
drummer
was
for
a
Queens
rat
of the Stone
bastard,
Age?
too. What's that? The rat bastard.
everybody is though. To some
That's
extent.
what I'm trying to say, man.
And they're
Like,
politicians.
Well, I think
Yeah, you don't
every
make it that far by being.
I think every few debates that we have, Kale is usually like the voice of reason that pipes in and says like, well, you know, like, what do you want? What do you want from a politician? And like,
just
what-
good looks.
Where like
Yeah.
would a
Trudeau type.
would a
look?
clean politician even survive that
no,
long?
Never. That's the point, right? Like that's why they need to start from scratch, man.
They get assassinated.
But I'm pretty sure that's every
From a
movie
book
that's ever been
depository.
made about
Like
politicians.
grassy knoll.
They're squeaky clean until there's that one thing where they're like, fuck, I have to do this now. I have to ruin this other person in order to pick myself back up because he just like killed me. Every political movie's like that. No? Does that make any sense?
No, it makes
Good,
perfect
that makes
sense
sense.
because there is a point.
Watch any political movie. It's
I just-
always like the do-gooder, and then his opposition is always like trying to like rattle him and say bad things about him. The do-gooder's like, no, I'm not going to sink to his level, and then something ultimately happens.
Yeah.
And he eventually sinks to that level.
Oh, it's usually
Or
cocaine.
he gets a needle in the back and
Pretty
they
much
throw it in
every
the lake.
artist who's made these movies saying there is no good politician.
Right.
Everybody's
Like eventually you need that $1 million from the tobacco industry to fight the campaign against your enemy.
and by $1 million you mean like a
Well,
trillion.
yeah.
It's usually like
Million a
sex or
month, I meant.
cocaine or both.
Per
that,
month, I
like,
meant.
makes a man go.
Well, and that's
Dark in
the
those
huge
movies.
problem with American politics is that they can dump $1 trillion into people's campaigns.
Yeah.
Like,
The amount of money that's
it's
wasted on
the
campaigning,
The
like
worst thing to happen to U.S. to politics in general
Yeah.
What about Vote or Die?
was vote or die.
The Puff Daddy
You don't remember
movement.
Vote or Die?
I remember ride or die.
Skate or Die.
That's
Is it like Skate or Die?
I have that game.
Is he
I
the
have
only
that
one
game
that
for
remembers
Nintendo.
Vote or Die? It was huge.
They
It
made
was-
it was in
Yeah.
a South
I
Park
think it was
episode.
Al
Vote or
Gore
die,
when Al
motherfucker.
Gore
Vote or
was going
die.
against Bush.
Yeah, and like Stan or Kyle or both of them, they're like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, it was.
Like they kept chasing after the kids to vote.
It was the Gore versus Bush election, and yeah, it was like the MTV Music Video Awards that year. Puff Daddy had a huge thing.
It was like right at the end of the awards too, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was like white shirts that said Vote or Die.
And they were just
black
throwing out shirts that said Vote or Die.
I don't think I really.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was,
I was
for
just being
me.
funny earlier.
It was the end of Bush Gore where I really started paying attention to U.S. politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole Florida debacle and everything.
Once Bush became president, I was like, oh, I should probably pay attention to what they're doing down there.
But
what they're letting go on.
does he look like compared to Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not.
That was my only knowledge of U.S. politics was Clinton
Yeah. But we were too too young for that though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like who gives a shit about that? It was for me. It was 9/11 that made me aware of everything.
Me too.
Like that,
Well,
it
yeah.
changed for me right there. That like I thought that terrorists only existed in Schwarzenegger movies. Like it's just like holy shit, life is real.
See,
And, like ever since then, I've been politically aware.
I'd agree with you for sure on that. But then I also, when Obama won, I remember coming home late from hockey, and up until that point, I didn't give like a rat's ass about the election. But when I came home, I was like, wow, Martin Luther King Jr. was like hoping for this so long ago, and like that just happened. Like there's an African American, half Muslim president of the United States.
Let me ask you this:
with the middle name Hussein.
Have you looked into Martin Luther King? Like, have you researched him?
I mean, to an extent.
Because
here we go.
I've just learned some very unsavory things about that guy.
Yeah, but
man.
everybody has unsavory things.
No, but like he went
that
to
was
a communist school.
Holding on to myself.
All his like as a minister, all his beliefs on Jesus are like not what any other person who believes in Jesus would think. But I guess the CIA had everywhere he went, they bugged him and had video footage, and I guess he was just into like dirty orgies with like men and women.
Yeah,
crazy shit, man.
I mean, how
Well,
do
they
you
have to be
know that
dirty.
there's
What are
any
your
truth to
sources?
this?
The 60s.
Yeah,
Well,
what are the
apparently-
sources to this?
Apparently,
All I got out of that was
apparently
he was
there
into
is like the whole thing's documented. Like,
And he
and
had-
But
even
according to who?
and even his one of his buddies wrote a book and talked about it too. But
But
I
according
there is
to who? Like that's
well,
like
I guess it was the
technically, I
CIA.
could write this book
Yeah,
about
that's
anybody in
what
the
I'm saying.
room.
Well,
What are
I
your- what are
can't
your-
tell you
what are your-
who
Like, I'm
right
not
now
saying
because
there's
I
no
don't
truth
remember
to it,
who it
because
was. But there is.
all of us have skeletons in our closet of some way, shape.
But
form,
there's
or
even a
kind.
letter that has been released.
Yeah, but what's
written
wrong with
to
an
him.
orgy?
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
it might have been a
anything.
clean orgy.
Why-
He wasn't
why
killing
is the
people, he was
CIA
making love.
following him for
He was married
orgy?
at the time.
She was there too.
Yeah,
No,
she
she
arranged
wasn't.
it.
Who
She drove
authorized-
everyone
She was
there.
at a different orgy.
Who authorizes the CIA sting for a married
Uptown
man in an
orgy.
Well, that's not really what they were just trying to figure out what he was all about because they knew
Well, they
he
were
was
just trying to get dirt on him so they could
something to
get
do
rid
with
of him.
communism. Like again, it was interesting, but there's a letter written to him too, like basically telling them like you have to this date to basically off yourself. It's interesting, but
But what I think Kiernan was trying to say is that like outwardly, not what's happening behind closed doors. Like that's none of our business. If he was a gay man in a gay orgy,
Oh, no, I don't
that
care.
would be fine too.
They were there too.
It's what he was doing in public that really matters to people. So to bring up the fact that he was in orgies, like
no. What I'm trying to say is I don't quite know that maybe he wasn't trying to. Like
Into
I don't
orgies?
actually don't want any of this on here, but
this is an outtake.
the reality is like there's a lot of
This is the warm up.
you know, who really knows? Like everyone was told Christopher Columbus, right? And then we find out that he wasn't quite a good person either. and-
Yeah, but well,
You just don't like him because he discovered the Earth is round.
He's
He's
right.
an anti-flat. He's
See,
an anti-flat earther.
Lies!
The difference between somebody like MLK and Columbus would be that at the time, Columbus was very well aware that he was doing terrible things. He might not have seen it as him doing terrible things because these other people weren't white or English or whatever. So he thought less of them. But at the same time, there was a part of him that's like, I'm going here and taking this land away from people.
I don't
Whereas
know,
like
though,
Martin Luther King Jr. would have been like, I'm hiding these things that anyone would hide if there's an orgy or whatever. Those are my own personal
Yeah,
beliefs.
well, I'm
but
just
outwardly,
basically-
he was that person that was trying to say, hey, we all need to come together and stop all the hate.
Also, Brigham, don't make making love look ugly, okay? It's beautiful.
I
It's a
wasn't.
beautiful thing.
I wasn't.
It's a beautiful thing.
I'm just saying he wasn't as wholesome as people think.
Nobody is, though. That's
But the communist part, I guess, is where the real issue came in. So.
yeah, but
But
I
at
think
the same
anyone can
time-
agree
That's
that
an
there
old CIA
are
tactic.
positives to communist beliefs. There are positives to socialist beliefs. In
Absolutely.
the same way there are positives to Republican, Democratic, Green,
But even-
whatever beliefs,
Yeah,
right?
and that aside, like at that time, anybody that was against the current administration was a communist.
Pretty much, right?
And it was
Yeah.
Just like
like a terrorist now.
anyone now is like a racist if they
Like a
think
terrorist.
Trump's decent and Islamophobe. Fuck, it goes on the list of bullshit.
No,
Or
I think
anybody against Trump is a dirty liberal. Like it's just completely down the line now.
See, I think South Park did it best when they parodied that election and put a douche up against a turd sandwich.
that's exactly.
Like there
I'll
wasn't
agree
a
with
great
that.
candidate.
That was
there,
pretty good. No,
you know?
of course not.
Like Bernie Sanders, that was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for all his good, that's a perfect world that we're never going to live in. We're never going to live in that world.
He's not perfect either. Though.
No, but he's not.
See,
But
again,
his
Brigham,
ideals
who
for
is?
that are so
He was the
pro-socialist.
best candidate.
Yeah, he's a
he
lot better
was
than
the
any-
best candidate.
Any of the other.
But the, I mean, the
Until-
biggest
Psychopath
unfortunate for
serial
him is that he
killers
was
are
right.
90 billion years old. Like,
Yeah,
no
I was
one's
just gonna say that.
No one's
When
gonna vote
they
for
don't
him
have
as a
much to
president.
kill him. They're
He's
just like,
older
oh,
than Trump.
natural causes.
Trump's not much
Is he?
younger.
Trump's
I thought there was like
Trump's
almost
70
And he's in
years.
better shape
Trump's,
too.
Trump's 70-something years old. Sanders is about 73, 74.
Oh, see, I thought
And he's
Sanders was a little bit
contemplating a
older.
2020 run.
Oh, I fucking hope
I think
so.
Sanders. That's because Sanders probably bangs women his own age, and Trump just keeps it young. I don't know. It's crazy.
Is everybody watching The Crown right now? Because that's almost what I imagine the Trump family to be like, minus like any goodness.
No. I have not seen
It's
it,
an
sorry.
interesting show. It's a very interesting dynamic that the royal family used to and possibly still does coexist within.
The royal family.
Yes.
Those reptilians.
Yeah. My buddy, I was joking around about something about the wedding. I'm like, oh yeah, about Buddy Mary and Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
And I was like, which is weird, like because, well, obviously it doesn't matter because he's not in line for anything. But
No, he's like
there was people saying like
7th or 8th in line
the
now, I think.
racial part was weird, and my buddy made a joke.
He's not
like,
even-
He's still a
no,
prince. He doesn't need
no,
to be in
no
line for
babies
anything.
for him at Christmas.
He's done. Yeah.
Sanders.
I'm happy at Prince.
Damn.
Never heard
He's
of
done.
the royal
Sorry.
No,
Okay,
because
I'll
it
play
goes
with it.
Charles, and then it would go William, and then William's son's name. And then doesn't he have 2 sons, or does he have a son and a daughter?
Must have sucked being Charles. Like you were in line to be king.
Honestly,
and then
watch
she
The
just
Crown.
doesn't die.
Watch,
Yeah, and she probably
Oh,
never will.
every morning you just get up. Why
Never.
won't you
watch
die?
The Crown. It's very
and now
interesting.
he's like probably gonna die before her.
All those babies they eat, keep them alive.
Well, the other question will be, does he take the throne when she eventually passes, or does he abdicate it right away
Well,
to
didn't
William?
he say last year that he doesn't want anything more to do with public life or
Because
political life? Or
I mean,
something like
the
that?
biggest reason why Queen Elizabeth II, I believe, is queen, is because her dad, who was the king in that King's Speech movie, his brother decided not to take on the throne because he was in love with a woman who was 2 times divorced previously, and the royal family said you cannot make this woman the queen because of religion and divorce. So he decided to choose love instead of choosing politics and kingdom. So then that thrust his brother into the role, and then everybody like ostracized the other one whose name I can't remember right now. And so eventually when Elizabeth's father died, that put her in the role as queen. It's an interesting show. I would recommend it.
I do
if
plan
you-
on watching it at some point.
It's interesting.
We should also mention the allegations against Charles from Charles in Charge, Scott Baio.
I saw something
Deflowering
about it,
Nicole
that's-
Eggert at a young age.
There's an old Sugar Ray song playing in the background right now.
Yeah, like that's an interesting thing because I watched his. I don't know if you guys watch. I think you guys watched Scott Baio's thing.
Oh no!
It was fucking hilarious because
Didn't he
he's
like
there
post a video on
talking.
YouTube or
Yeah,
something?
he's
Yeah,
well,
I
it was
saw
like live on
something
Facebook, and he's talking, and in the background is his wife, like just controlling him. It's the funniest fucking shit. He's going on and on. She's like, "Tell them this, honey. Make sure they know that." And like he's live, like fucking shut up. I got this.
Is he still relevant in any way?
I don't
No.
think so. Well,
I mean,
you know what though,
besides
he.
being the highest profile celebrity to endorse
But
Trump.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, right? That's probably part of
No,
it.
no, Toby Keith.
Ted Nugent.
Tom Brady was pretty prominent.
Yeah.
Bill Elliott. NASCAR
But
driver.
like
It's a pretty good list.
hearing
It's not a deep
her
bench.
interviews kind of makes her like I don't know, because
Probably
like
most NASCAR drivers.
if it happened, she went on tons of things and like basically said that it was all consensual. Like she seduced him, and then all of a sudden she's like, no, he
Yeah,
did
but
this
look
and I was
at
underage.
Aziz Ansari too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, his is interesting.
Like, that's very interesting, especially because, like, everyone else who has ever been in a relationship, whether long-term, short-term, sexual, otherwise, has come out and immediately defended him, and yet he's still being persecuted for what a lot of people are saying was a bad date.
I was gonna say, it's just
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They just sucked each other off a couple times, and that's it. Like, I don't feel bad for her. Like, I mean, I feel bad that she had a bad time, but like, don't make it public that like he raped you.
Well, she's not saying
sucked his
She
dick
never
twice.
said that.
She's not
Yeah,
going
it's
that far.
very
I don't know the
interesting.
details. I'm
very-
I'm gonna edit this part out.
It's the whole Me Too movement in one.
You're
in 2
victim
seconds.
blaming. Oh
Yeah,
my
let
God.
us know when we actually are recording for real.
Well, this is just a warm up.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
it.
I know it's
45 minutes
recording
ago.
for real right now, but just
Are we warm?
Are we warm? Is anyone else tired of these porn stars on Instagram just like mocking, like throwing all their shit that they buy in your face?
see. I thought you were gonna go in a different direction with that. I thought you were gonna reference some Papa Roach,
No.
and then you actually
never had
kind
this
of
problem.
did still reference
What?
some Papa
What kind of
Roach.
shit do
What was
porn
the
stars
reference?
buy?
Because on one of his albums he has the song Hollywood Whore, and then on their live album, I like Papa Roach, by the way. I think they're pretty good.
We'll edit this part out. No
they're-
problem.
They're playing in Grand Rapids in like a couple weeks. If you're interested, small
But
club.
that's how he starts playing before he actually plays the song live.
Yeah.
He's like, is anybody tired of these goddamn Hollywood whores? So that's where I thought you were going with
I
it.
didn't say that.
No, you didn't, but then you
Oh,
still
I
kind
see
of
what-
did.
okay,
right?
I see- okay, I see
So
what-
sorry, you can restart your
I see
You
what
know,
you
I
did.
just wanted to throw in like we were just like in my they're buying like what kind of shit are they buying?
Okay, first of all, they put their stories on Instagram that they just came like from a shopping spree, and they're just like filming everything that's laid out on the bed that they just bought. Like, who gives a shit about that?
Well,
Who
I was
gives a
just
shit?
thinking in porn,
But
you
girls
don't
who
really
don't
make
follow
residuals
anything on
and shit.
Instagram.
Well,
Everybody under the age of, I would argue, 24.
but I think because
23.
because the porn industry has changed drastically with like Pornhub and all this shit, that they have to find other means to make money, not just from movies.
Well, see, that's the thing, too,
So
is
I
that the
think-
porn
Yeah,
they
industry is
do
also
cam
taken on
shit, I
social
heard.
media, like Instagram and like
That's what I
Twitter.
mean, and they're pandering, I think, to their base audience. Like, there's so many porn
they get
stars out
paid
there
for
now,
it. You
just
get
like
paid for that.
smoking blunts in the camera and just blowing the smoke.
A lot
like,
of them
right
have
into the light.
Snapchat, from what I've gathered, as well.
Well, I've heard.
When you see any famous woman model, people in general, not necessarily just women, but like like you were saying, like porn stars, and they're holding a product or showing that off, like they're getting paid to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, I have friends on
And they have
Facebook
300,000
that
followers
push
and-
makeup all the time, and I'm like, please stop.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
got
this
it
is
all.
Are they getting paid?
Yeah,
Well,
because
trying
it's
to.
their business. It's their business, or it's like an Avon lady back in the day.
Yeah.
That would go out, or Tupperware parties, stuff like that. Like, now it's on Facebook, and it's like I'm scrolling through. It's like, I don't care. And the way Facebook works, you get notifications all the time if someone goes live, and yeah, you can turn them off, but because my phone is so ancient, every time I turn them off, it doesn't register on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I constantly get these notifications, and the only way to get the notification to go away is by clicking on it if you're on your phone, because there's not the mark all is red option. But yeah, no, it's annoying. It's everywhere now. It's the people, like one of us could go on Facebook tomorrow and like try and sell that.
I mean, I'm pretty
movie.
much at the
Wanna do that,
point with
Steve?
Facebook now
Yeah.
where I only
That's
follow
pretty good.
news.
Yeah.
Sold.
I have unfollowed pretty much everybody that I don't see on a regular basis on
Yeah.
Facebook.
But
just
see,
to
that's-
eliminate those things.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing too, is that we're all a part of the problem in some way. Like, even part of me feels bad when I go and post something about like a charity I'm trying to work with, right? Because like I don't want to put that on anyone or make them feel like they need to click on it, but then also at the same time, like, I'm trying to raise money for it.
Right.
So it's like I'm part of the thing that I hate, but then I also see the benefits of using the thing that I hate.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the thing.
Well, this is to a different degree, but I feel the same way about like if my band has a show. Like, I just hate being that guy that like pushes it out there. Like, I've never been a good like marketer for myself. Like, so like now with social media, I could just put it out there and who cares? Like, but like back in the day when you had to make flyers and shit like that, like.
But at the same time, like, the weird thing is, if you really like think about it, every time you make a resume, you are self-marketing yourself, right? Like
Yeah.
every part of our interactions as humans, like even if you're just meeting for somebody for the first time, you have to like present yourself, you have to market yourself in a way to build connections. Like even if you're saying, oh, you like the Red Wings, I like the Red Wings too, like there is that little bit of knowledge you're putting forward so somebody can grab onto that and like you.
We have to build the brand, as we say in 2018, I guess.
Is that what people say?
We got to build
brand?
the. Well, this is what I think. Like,
did anybody see the Tide commercials over the
Yep.
Super Bowl? Those were really good at making everybody forget about the fact that everyone's eating their Tide
Yeah, I
Pods.
think that was the point. Or they're just gonna sell way more Tide Pods too. I don't know.
well, yeah, but were there like small words like at the bottom of the commercial, like "Don't eat these"?
No, they didn't address them. They had the guy from Stranger Things. I think his name's David Harbour. He's also playing Hellboy, I guess now. He was in all the commercials, and they were basically pointing out all the things you see in Super Bowl commercials, all the things you see in like detergent-based commercials. They did one with the old Old Spice guy where they were both on a horse, but it was like an elongated horse.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very clever, but no, they didn't take the opportunity to put like a scroll that said "Don't eat Tide Pods."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes to me, it doesn't even feel like these entertainers, let's say, because they're not just all porn stars, but just like it doesn't even seem like they're actually selling anything. It just seems like they're selling themselves, like the brand, you know. Yeah. So like they're halfway through a comic book. Like, you don't read comic books. And then they'll just be like playing video games or something. They're just like appealing to their base, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing, is that how do we know that they're just doing that, or if it's just really them or a part of them at the same time? Really, it's hard to say.
I know.
And that's why I think men or women in that industry get so much flack, because the whole basis of that industry is to pander.
Mm-hmm.
But then they also try to go out and be genuine people in their daily lives.
But
and
it just seems too set up to be. I mean, they don't have to be filming this, you know. So like,
yeah, and that's
it's like photo opportunities.
Yeah.
Their makeup is perfect, and like, they just happen to be playing video games. On
The good thing about this, none of it's real. So
no,
as
nothing.
Jim Carrey said,
we don't matter.
We don't matter. That's best news.
Absolutely not whatsoever.
It's pulp is an illusion.
I just had to get that off my chest.
Okay, the pulp thing was weird. That's weird.
You saw that?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's pulp. There's pulp.
Well, but that's not what he's.
I know that. But
hold on, in Tide Pods?
No, Jim Carrey with Seinfeld.
Yeah, the riding in cards with comedians, or getting
Seinfeld
coffee
didn't even know how to react when he said shit like that.
I don't think anyone who watched that knew. Like, even though you understand what he's saying, like, that was just a very bad.
I'm glad you watched it, because I'm going to tell you what happened. I went for a coffee with my grandpa.
Oh.
And
I thought you were going to spoil it.
No, I went for coffee with my grandpa once, and there was this guy who I don't know if he was on ayahuasca or he just like smoked DMT or what the fuck he did. But he came in and he started telling me he was Jesus, and we are all one. And
I actually go to school with Jesus.
He went on, dude. This guy was like right in my face, because I was like, I wanted to be funny. I'm like, oh, you're Jesus, and he was like, do you refute me? And he was like, right in my face, right? But he took this packet of honey, and he stood on top of the table and like drizzled it into his coffee, and I thought, that's insane. And then Jim Carrey did the same fucking shit, and he is really coming across as a woke individual right now, and it was very interesting.
I don't remember him drizzling honey into his
he
coffee.
had stevia, but he stood up and
stand up?
dripped it in his coffee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fucked up, man. It really was weird.
Yeah,
really
but
weird.
Is that a newer one?
No, it's from I think it's from the first season.
Because the first season's quite a few years ago now.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's from.
Yeah,
it just came on Netflix.
I knew it came back, and I looked at the episode order, and they were kind of.
I think it's pretty new. He's got the beard and shit.
Aired.
Yeah, I would say it's around the same time that he filmed the Netflix documentary. But see, while I agree that Jim Carrey is kind of definitely, I mean, he used the term awoken individual right now. Like, he's very, his eyes are open and he's looking at life from kind of a very
completely different view.
Like, I don't even think it's happiness or lethargy or whatever. He's looking at life very honestly and interestingly. But then he's also Jim Carrey.
It's almost like
and,
that, right?
And how much of it is Jim Carrey building a character right now?
Yeah.
And that's also a
That's a good
detriment to
point.
him as a person, because I don't want to take anything away from him if that is actually what he's doing. But you do kind of have to remember.
Yeah, you don't know, because
right?
some of the stuff I've seen him say, he basically said like, that he wasn't joking around. Like he did this, he'd done it all, and he wasn't.
Even everything that happened with the woman, I think, who killed herself or just died.
That's not over yet either. I don't.
No, and even the thing with, I think it was Emma Stone, where he went live and posted something where it was basically like a 6-minute video about how much he loved Emma Stone. It was either Emma Stone or Jennifer Lawrence, but
it was Emma Stone.
Yeah, but it was like very like, what is happening right now? Like, this is not something that you should be putting out there. But
Yeah, I don't, man.
It seemed like he was on a lot of pills before, and then like maybe all that shit happened, and then he probably went and did a bunch of ayahuasca, and then.
But I also
and
think
now
it's
he's
weird.
Like, now he's like this, you know.
I also think it's weird how we kind of look at celebrities and take them on as a part of us in some ways. Like, we all have such affinity for him because of how much joy he added to our life when we were younger, like Chris Farley, Robin Williams, the same way. And that when we see these people that we'll never meet or have never met, more than likely, that we try and figure out, like, what is going on with your life right now? Like, we care about them so fiercely when really probably give two shits about us, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting dynamic, and I think social media, going back to that, just makes that so much more difficult and weird, and just
with more people too, like just people that aren't famous that you don't really even know that you happen to follow on Instagram or something, but you just know what they're doing all the time.
Like, even this kid at the Super Bowl that took the picture. Sorry, like the kid at the picture with the Super Bowl with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
like he was in this moment where he's sitting next to like a star, like one of the biggest people on the planet right now in terms of celebrity and talent, and like he takes like 3 pictures, and then the whole time he's sitting there doing this. And his reasoning is, oh, well, everybody was texting me and everybody wanted to get a hold of me. It's like, dude,
I'm so
like, you took the picture, okay, cool, but like, put your phone away and just like
I
enjoy that
too.
moment. But he's like, I think in grade 7.
Yeah, too young to even.
Like, all he knows is taking a picture of his pencil, his number 2 pencil at school, to say, I'm about to take a test. You know, like that's his life, and I kind of worry about where social media
pull out a titty?
Yeah, that kid's.
No, but actually he referenced that, and a lot of people are pissed off because
as they should be. He never got in trouble for that.
He's saying it wasn't Sexy Back. I don't think. I think it's Rock Your Body, and he ended that song last night at the exact same moment the song ended when that happened with Janet.
Well, not
and
last
then he gave
night.
a very knowing wink.
It wasn't last night.
It
was last week.
No, it was last night.
Because this is February 14th right now.
That's right. Yeah, it's Valentine's. Happy Valentine's.
Is any of this going to count?
Why are we
still
not with
warming up?
chicks right now?
No.
No one's with their
but
significant other on
okay.
Valentine's.
But hold on. Hello, Basement Placers. My name is Steve, and welcome to Basement Place Radio. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say that less sexful. Hello, Basement Placers.
Make it low.
Should I say like Fred Snyder? Hello, Basement Placers. Welcome to Basement Place Radio. My name is Steve. The gentleman to my left is my sexy co-host. His name is Kale. Kale, use the mic.
I have been. There, I did.
Say hello.
For those of you who can't see, Kale just nodded to the microphone as if you would all know that.
No, I was waiting for him to say something else. He usually says, "Kale, do your thing."
I never know. You sometimes.
So I was waiting for the next part.
You cut me off sometimes though, so now I'm on like a hiccup. Like I don't know when to cut off.
Right.
Let's try this again. The sexy gentleman to my left.
I thought you were gonna make it not sexual.
He's gonna say it less sexual.
How many times can we make Steve redo Kale's intro?
Hey, it's Kale. Kale, say hi.
Hi.
There we go.
Hey, Brigham.
Hey. Hi.
Brigham.
Hello.
Briggles. Brigham 2 strikes Shearon to the left of
One
Kale.
strikes. He got one down to 1 strike.
You know what?
Last
Yeah,
week,
yeah, I don't remember
right,
how
right,
that
right.
happened, but I was gonna say if I was 2 strikes, the third pitch is a home run. So
Okay.
put that out there.
There's strikes.
Briggs, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good to see you, sir.
It's good to see you.
And the gentleman to his left, back from, what was it? Episode 18, The Gang Watches Cabin in the Woods. Cousin of mine, Brett Chaborek.
Hello.
You gotta ride that mic, man.
I'll ride it.
There's some freaky shit going on in that corner. There is Brett is hands-free microphone right now, and he's just placed his arm around a small child mannequin holding the microphone for him. Pictures to come.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Don't forget the dolphin.
Brett. Oh yes.
Or the fact that the mannequin has one hand.
Yes, the one-handed child mannequin
who's a fan of Crowded
microphone
House.
hand is being propped up by an inflatable dolphin.
I'm just worried. Where is the other hand?
Beloved and widely known in Basement Place as the Dolphin. Brett, welcome to Basement Place.
Thank you.
And the gentleman to his still left, right? We're still going the same way. The gentleman to Brett's left is another cousin of mine, and also a star from episode 18, The Gang Watches Cabin in the Woods, Mr. Kiernan Murphy.
Hello.
How you doing, Murph?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Is your middle name actually Seamus?
No, it's Robert.
Okay, Seamus, that'd be dope if it was.
I feel like now I have to talk in some bastardized Irish accent. Then
All together. We're all together, right? We can agree that it's Valentine's Day?
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
It's February 14th right
All
now,
of
right?
our women are pissed that we're not with them.
Right.
Because we're doing this. Like, what a prick move. Single guy books us
We've
all to
decided
be here
to
on
gather
Valentine's Day.
5 gentlemen.
She's waiting at the restaurant.
Yeah, like...
The
Is there a nice restaurant
We
at
still
least?
gotta watch a movie?
Is it a
Come
nice
on.
restaurant?
Candles,
Or is it like
Candles about halfway down right now.
McDonald's?
It's Burger King.
Chicken's getting
She's the
cold.
third glass of
I would
wine.
argue that Burger King is
Getting
better
angry.
than McDonald's. That would be a better place to have your
Anyway,
date wait for
so
you.
what we're trying
McDonald's has
to...
a fireplace.
This is true, but Burger King has Whoppers.
Doesn't have a fireplace.
All right.
They might. I haven't actually been to one if it's redesigned.
Okay. What we are doing today on this Valentine's Day night is we are going to be watching a movie from 1981. And this is soon to be Brigham's favorite movie. The movie stars Andy Kaufman and Bernadette Peters, and what we are watching tonight. Brigham?
It's called Heartbeeps, starring, like you said, Andy Kaufman. So this is why we were watching it, because it's got Andy Kaufman in it. And
Also,
and
it might be robots.
Yeah. Weirdly, you had this movie, and I'd never heard a fucking thing about it.
Okay, so the background of this movie is that I was living out in the boonies, and I was in Kingsville at a video store, and this movie was just sitting in one of those discount bins. And the cover looks attractive. It looks like it's going to be good. Turns out, though, I still have never seen it. I've tried a few times, and I think I've fallen asleep in the same 10-minute mark each 3 times. So I've never really seen this movie. I've seen the first 10 minutes.
Did we clear this up earlier? Was this the only movie Andy Kaufman was in?
Okay, so what I was reading on IMDb earlier is that this movie, I think, was his first movie. And hold on.
It gave him cancer.
Edit this.
Oh, man. Too soon. Too soon.
So where is it?
He's still alive, man.
Where is it?
He's going to listen to this podcast.
You just look up Andy Kaufman and see.
You know what would be sweet? If we could get Tony Clifton on this podcast. That'd be awesome.
Fuck, I can't get to the
Bunch of Steve shit.
Bob Zamunda, get a hold of Steve LaFave.
Okay, so because it's a movie about the life and times of his alter ego, Tony Clifton was scrapped by the movie studios. So it never happened because of this movie.
So it did give him cancer.
Oh my gosh.
It might have. It might have.
That would have been an
this
awesome
movie,
movie, though.
You should hate this movie.
It says Universal Pictures gave Andy Kaufman a blank check to make this film after focus group testing indicated that children liked robots. Apparently, in the wake of R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Oh
They
my
just gave him a
gosh.
blank check because of
They
this.
said make a robot movie.
I hope it was very high.
I think the budget was $10 million. I read this on Wikipedia, so take that with a grain of salt. The budget was $10 million something, and the box office was $2 million something.
That's a lot more than I expected.
Well,
but we have yet to see this, so who knows?
But when you watch
You added like $2 to that.
He all his contracts were like he fucked like it. They tricked everyone. He got stupid shit, man. Like they gave him like creative rights and this and that, and he just fucked with them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what he did there, I guess.
Well, I think hold on. There's something about when he was on Letterman too in here.
But again, he might have enjoyed that no one cared about the movie. You know.
Oh yeah, Andy Kaufman felt that the movie was so bad that he personally apologized for it on Late Night with David Letterman in 1982, and as a joke, promised to refund the money of everyone who paid to see it, which didn't involve many. Letterman's response was that if Kaufman wanted to issue such refunds, Kaufman had better have change for a $20 bill.
Well, I've heard that George Clooney actually, if you ask him for it in public when you meet him, will refund your money for Batman and Robin.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I have to give him back the DVD because it's a part of a 4-pack for me?
I actually have that. I have the same copy.
Would I have to? I'd have to give that back, right? If I wanted a refund.
I feel like that's gonna overall be better than this.
Yes, I agree.
I think
also,
so.
I'll be honest, I don't hate Batman and Robin because it is so cheesy and hilarious that you feel good.
We're veering.
We're veering. I feel like we're good at that.
Sigourney Weaver was offered the role of Aqua, which is Bernadette Peters. She was offered the role of Aqua and was interested in being in the film, but her agent talked her out of taking the part.
He got promoted.
That would have been after Alien, yeah.
He got a raise.
Yeah,
so
I give you a raise.
Was Alien 86?
Was there that much time before Alien?
Maybe it would have been better if she was in it.
There was a bit of a gap between.
Well, where does Terminator fall? Because that would have been James Cameron's first big one.
That was Tom Brady yesterday.
So yeah, that makes sense then. That there was that much time between the two. Plus, both those movies are so drastically different in their approach to the same subject matter that, like, one's very slow-paced, horrific thriller. The other one's like full-on horror action movie.
Well, Alien though was Ridley Scott.
Oh, that as well. Yeah, no, I know that as well. But
so this movie's like that. Like this is gonna be pretty fucking cool. Like it's considered that terrible.
I mean,
you got.
Oh, you think
they even made
it the room level terrible?
What a waste of fucking plastic, right? And you got it.
This movie is only 79 minutes. It's not a long movie. So we're about to go upstairs, and I think we're gonna order a pizza right before we watch the movie.
Sounds good.
And I'm kind of curious to see what happens first, the movie to end or the pizza to get here. It is Valentine's Day. This is our Valentine's Day special, I guess.
This is gonna be interesting, man.
Sorry.
We're 5 of us, 5 virgins, going into the night. I don't know what to expect, but are you guys ready?
Ready.
No.
Kale, are you ready?
Sure.
My lovely.
That's not something you need to ask me if I'm ready for. We're not going into war.
We might. Brigham, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Brett?
I just hope we don't find this extra hand.
Don't you?
That's what I was just.
Find the extra hand
I'm
too,
curious
though?
where it is. Like seriously.
Well,
couldn't afford a fleshlight.
Don't worry about it.
I'm kidding.
I mean,
oh my
if we're
god,
going into this virgins,
Did
I don't
you
wanna
like
know where that
steal
is.
it from active use and the hand fell off and you're just like, there's no turning back as you ran away, or like?
Murph, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go watch this movie, and we will be back.
Better talk about this movie quick because I'm quickly removing it from my brain.
Okay, you want to get into it?
Not really.
Gentlemen.
You recording?
Yes. Gentlemen, we are back. Does anyone want to break the ice on this one?
I'm kind of depressed.
I was just saying outside, I'm like really tired now.
You know what
I feel
though?
like my energy pack has been drained.
That movie still had.
Just come over here. I'll touch your pleasure
As
center.
as bad as it was, it still resembled like a futuristic movie now, where in the sense where they won, they outsmarted the humans.
Okay, now.
Yeah, do you think like Pixar saw that movie? Like the people at Pixar saw that movie, and then were like, "There's something here."
Yes.
And then they made WALL-E that almost won Best Picture.
I think that spawned RoboCop too.
And this is what I was saying while we were watching the movie. I watched WALL-E for the first time last night, just on a whim.
I've still never seen it.
Oh,
No?
it's good.
See, I thought
I have it, and for some reason I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's not bad, but eventually there's a love story. So
It's basically that.
Well, I know that.
I think it would
It's
have
good.
been whatever.
It's good.
It would have been better if it wasn't.
Have you seen The Artist, that silent movie?
Yeah, I own that. You want to watch that now?
No, I'm trying to say that WALL-E is a better silent movie than that.
Oh,
that's a good movie. The
I'm
Artist.
saying.
The Artist? Yeah, it wasn't bad. I like silent movies though.
I'm not saying
But,
I don't. I'm just saying the WALL-E's the
But
better
again, we're veering off the beaten
Are we?
path.
Are we?
We are. We're supposed to be talking about this movie that we are so engorged by.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Sounded right.
Isn't it like another? Isn't that something that happens to your penis? It gets engorged.
But
Were you engorged during that film?
I was very engorged.
Was your pleasure
Yes.
unit engorged?
Yes, my pleasure center was very engorged. As we were saying, as we noticed, and Brett, you tried to do research to disprove it being the real one, but John Williams himself, the John Williams, composed this
Who's
movie.
the John Williams?
Star Wars fame. What else did you say? E.T.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Everything else.
Everything else. John Williams composed this
Anal
movie.
Invaders 6.
What's that?
Anal Invaders 6.
Did he
He
do
just
that
did one of those. Yeah.
I thought he just did the first 5.
Only the 6.
He sold out.
No,
for
he didn't do
what?
one. No, he didn't do 1 to 5. He just did 6.
It's just espionage.
6 and then again 9 and then 11. So
it is just espionage.
What is?
I love it.
I'm gonna start over here, Murph. What was your take on? What is your overall feelings of 1981's Heartbeeps?
I think Andy Kaufman was very knowingly being Andy Kaufman, taking money and then just being like, oh shit, I got money to do this, now I have to do this, how can I make it terrible so that it's funny later on for me when I rewatch it.
And this is what we were kind of discussing as we were watching, like, do you think Andy Kaufman was for real when he, or like what I was trying to do, I was trying to give the movie the
He's
benefit
such an
of the
eccentric
doubt.
guy though.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt that like maybe as they were making it, they're like, this is gonna be amazing.
But I mean,
I heard
was
we got
also
John Williams to do the score for this and everything.
watching the credits, and I don't think he had anything to do with writing, directing, producing.
See, I didn't even bother to look at.
He did that movie.
You would think that he would have a creative part in it, though. No,
Did anybody?
Yeah,
John Williams. Good old.
Could
John
you
Williams.
imagine being John Williams watching that movie and just being like,
I don't
"Fuck,
think he did.
I
to
got to
this
put
day.
music to this."
Well, he's got to write the music, right? Don't they have the big screen with the keyboards and the and
As
the
long as the check
synthesizers?
cashes, right?
Yeah. Brett, what is your overall take of the movie?
I don't know.
How many
And listeners
pleasure
didn't see-
centers out of 10 would you give it?
7 pleasure centers.
Wow, that would signify
7
that
out
you
of 10
enjoyed the
pleasure
movie.
centers.
Oh, that's not an enjoyment scale.
Sorry,
Wouldn't
Kieran,
it be though?
Kieran, how many pleasure centers out of 10 would you give it?
I would give it 3 pleasure centers out of 10 pleasure centers, because it's that like one interaction that you have out of simple curiosity.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're like, all right, I know what that's like now.
See, that seems like a more accurate rating for it. You really give Heartbeeps 7 pleasure centers out of 10 pleasure centers?
I give it 20 units.
What does that convert to? Is that metric?
Isn't that a Star Wars reference?
Is that imperial?
Isn't what they
14
call
pleasure units.
14 out of 10?
Pleasure units.
Pleasure units. Yeah, but we need a conversion. What's the conversion?
from units to centers?
I'm asking you pleasure centers. You're giving me units. I don't know how to convert that.
Nobody does.
Okay, so 14
It's like,
pleasure
it's
units.
like Bitcoin.
So 14 pleasure units out of 10 pleasure centers?
You got it.
Okay. Brigham. The fidgety gentleman rolling a joint over there.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, I'll edit that part. That was the first drug reference. Heroin. Brigham. How do you
crystal meth. Yeah, I don't know. That was.
First of all, how many pleasure centers out of 10 would you give it? Please don't say units.
Wow. That's a tough one. I want to say like 5.
What did you like about it? Say something good about it. We've heard negative. Let's hear something good.
Well, like I said, the basis of it was pretty good. It was kind of similar to a lot of
the bassist or the basis.
Basis. A lot of it was, kind of rings true, like with Ex Machina there, like in other movies where the robots win in the end.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that's where we're going.
Did anyone win in the end of this?
Well, the robots did.
It seemed like they would. Like he was out of his suit.
Well, they
and
got
everything.
junked. Yeah.
But what was their goal?
He looked like he was retired in
But
Florida.
they got junked on
They
purpose.
were going out on a
right?
journey to learn more about life.
Yeah.
They did. Well, they were going out to research lumber.
No, that they were
Specifically,
Hold on.
the job was-
Hold on. I
He
think
was looking for a plywood tree.
I think Brigham is onto something here. Did you just say that? That they were faking it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Is this movie smart? Is this movie awesome now? They faked their death to get thrown out so they could be free?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they fake their malfunction.
You got that too?
Yeah.
Did everyone else get that but me?
No, I think their batteries literally died because they
that's where I'm
showed the batteries literally dead.
Yeah, but they died.
I
but
mean,
then
I
they-
like that interpretation more.
Yeah,
but I
fuck
just
yeah.
think they
The
died.
point is, somehow they had consciousness because they just seemed to know.
Well, I'd say they had consciousness the entire movie.
First of all,
Yeah, they were
when
sentient.
they died, they held hands, which was weird, right? They supposedly have no feelings, but throughout the movie, they picked everything up. That's where I'm getting it. Like, that's the AI
but
thing.
I think that is the story of the movie, that they were going out to learn more about life, and then in doing that, they had a little baby, Wall-E-looking robot named Philco.
They were looking
Phil.
for lumber.
Phil
right?
was my favorite
That's
part
the
for
only
sure.
plot
Not
line.
just
that
Phil, it's
they were,
Yeah.
they were looking for
Well, he's
lumber.
going to research some kind of trees or something. Right?
Isn't
That's what I'm trying
For
to
the
figure
stock
out what happened
market.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it weird that they made the baby before they touched each other's pleasure centers though?
Yeah, well, they built it.
They adopted the baby.
Did they think that?
Really, it's just
built it.
They
a
built
story. Well, I know, but they're robots, so.
But
that was like the metaphor for.
Did they build it
adoption.
as
They
a baby?
made a
or
baby
I did a jerk off motion.
Did they
Heroin.
Did they grow to love it as it went on?
What's that?
Well, they built it purely functional
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
And then did they grow to love it later on?
Well,
or
they
did
took
look at
away
it
its
as a baby
baggage
right
at
away?
Well,
one
they
point.
lost it. So at one point,
Immediately lost.
They
it.
lost it several times.
How much could they possibly love Phil if they lose it right away?
Well, everybody loses their first baby for like a bit.
Everybody gets
yeah,
one.
yeah. Everybody learns.
Isn't that what
Harambe.
Archangel and Black Mirror
Harambe.
taught us?
Everybody
that
leaves in the
every
car
child
when they
gets
run in to
lost?
get smoked
Yes,
into the wild.
yes,
Right?
yes. And Archangel is a very
Every
bad
now and
idea.
then, a parent loses the kid at the zoo.
Yeah.
You know?
Kale,
Miss-
my lovely co-host,
Yeah.
how many pleasure centers would you give Heartbeeps out of 10 pleasure centers?
I don't know. 4.
4? What
I
did
don't
what
know,
did
it
you,
was entertaining.
what did you like about it?
Slow, made me tired, and
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I think was better that we actually
it was an original, honest effort. In
the thing that
some way.
the thing that helped keep us engaged, kept us. I'm gonna start that again. You know what I think helped us
Helped keep us engaged.
There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna just edit all my part out. Yeah. What, Cal? The fact that we actually like recognize people in the movie. So like
Yeah.
this movie had all the good intentions of being
I love Randy
a
Quaid.
smash hit.
I love
With
Randy Quaid
Randy
also.
Quaid. That old woman who is slightly hotter than the woman from Goonies. The old guy from Gremlins. Dick Miller, I believe his name is. Did I already mention that semi-hot chick that was better than the chick from...
Semi-hot chick.
I should have put my...
She was a
I should've
point.
put
She was
the
a point
microphone
2
down,
instead of
so-
a point 1 on the,
I'm
on the
still
10 scale.
not convinced that movie wasn't made specifically.
So I think we were mentioning already that I think we mentioned on air that it costs $10 million to make.
10.
And it
cost 10 pleasure centers.
So that's an obscene,
and it only made 2 pleasure
that's
centers.
That's an obscene amount of money to put that movie together.
But think about the time at the same time. That's 1981. So
yeah, but to bring in, you're filming that knowing it's a big piece of shit. Like
what?
So
yeah, but
I
want
to see the cutting room floor.
It's a producer scenario that worked.
I like how you said that. You're definitely filming that knowing it's a big piece of shit. I agree.
It's just like
but
the producers.
what if they were serious?
But listen, you're right because it wasn't.
But they were somewhat serious because it was like
John Williams did the score.
The sets and everything were like fairly elaborate.
Yeah, well, it's like what happens in the producers.
They were filmed.
Right?
It was filmed with
the time that was spent in putting into the robotics.
The producers was, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've seen it, is that they have to make something semi-believable that's a complete piece of shit in order so that it loses money and they can just write it off. Or something to that effect.
So you're sticking with your guns that this was a purposeful fail.
$2 million it brought in on a
Isn't
$10
the
million
producers
budget.
about them trying to make an actual musical though?
No, the whole point is to make something somewhat serious that bombs. But then it's so ridiculous that it becomes such a big hit.
I'd say that in '81, that's $2 million is pretty good. You know?
But not when they spent.
No, but I mean, based on regular ticket sales, that sounds good.
Look like because it left it open at the end there.
So are we making a sequel right now?
I'm saying the first Terminator.
Well, I would say
isn't that great of a movie.
But
this summer will
the first Terminator also led to
You're the
T2.
second person I've now heard say that the first Terminator isn't that great of a movie.
It's not that great of a movie. The first Terminator
I think that just beat the record for
compared to
He
T2.
spilled all his water and Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but that's like comparing Alien to Alien.
No, because Alien on itself is a good movie.
Yeah, and Terminator on itself is it's almost more of a horror movie than an action movie.
No, see, I would say that Terminator was James Cameron's first attempt to make Terminator 2.
They're in completely different leagues. Terminator 1 and Terminator 2.
But that's what I mean. I think T2 was him saying oh, that wasn't what I meant to do the first time. This is what I meant to do the first time. Because he learned from it. He wrote out the story and then was like, oh, there were so many things wrong with this story. It'd be better if he was actually the good guy.
But what was wrong with the story? You don't have Terminator 2 without Terminator 1.
Oh, are we defending Terminator 1?
That's not true.
Yeah.
You could have T2 without
Terminator 1 sets the whole
I've never
thing
seen Terminator 1.
not
I've seen
that great.
Terminator 2 like 30 times and I'm
See,
okay. I'm
you
okay.
don't need
No, you should see Terminator 1.
Yeah, I
It's
should,
okay.
but I should, but I don't need to.
But
I mean,
it
no,
doesn't.
the emotion
it
you
doesn't
get-
though, because
That's
you
what we're arguing.
you have
with,
enough from T2.
The emotion you get with Sarah Connor running through the hallway in Terminator 2, seeing Arnold come out of that elevator,
That's a
and
good
just stopping dead and running back on her hands and basically falls on her ass and just
because
you
he was
don't
bad. He was bad in the
you
first
don't
one.
appreciate the emotion in that scene without Terminator 1.
That's a good point.
No, but you could
I still
find
turned
other
out all right,
emotion
though.
within that movie.
I
see what you're
one
saying.
specific scene.
I'm not saying I'm not saying Terminator 1 is just Terminator is a pile of garbage that's been in a dumpster on fire for a while.
Hold on. When did
I'm
Terminator
saying-
come out? 84?
It came out in 84.
Yeah. So it was pretty good for when it came out.
But I'm saying,
Wow, I'm
what
old.
would Heartbeeps number 2 look like?
I'm
would it be
saying
comparable
they
to
would
T2?
be going. It'd probably be better than the first one because they would.
It ranks
I'm
a
with you
solid
there for sure. It would be
4.2 out
better.
of 10 on IMDb.
Would Jim
Terminator
Carrey
1 is rocking an 8.
Yeah, we should get Jim Carrey to
Would
remake
Jim-
that
subjective.
movie.
Would Jim Carrey play in the sequel in Heartbeeps?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is he
man.
still
We
in?
gotta
We'll get
get brain power.
Bernadette. I feel that
Lead
Bernadette.
singer of Aqua.
I feel that Bernadette Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, she's straight fire. Woo! She's a handsome woman.
You're on your own with
These
that
days.
one, man.
So
Fire.
Brigham,
Does she still have handsome breasts?
Yep.
Brigham.
Yep.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on transhumanism?
I don't know, man. It's interesting because we're already seeing a lot of shit that's going on right now where people are losing jobs. Back in the day, old people were like, robots are gonna take our jobs, right?
Well,
And
it is happening.
It's totally happening.
I work in a place that's happening.
But so my question is, what's gonna, like, everyone says, oh, this is the future, but what is the future for us?
Well, the future is we're witnessing evolution slowly change humanity.
Well, you're right, but how do we get paid if they're taking jobs away?
Oh, if
You
we're
know what
talking
I
about
mean?
the
around much
economy?
longer.
Yeah.
The only way we go forward is through some form of basic income.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I really think we're just gonna merge with machine.
Yeah, but that's still a ways off. Like, we're not
Agreed.
seeing that
Yeah,
in our-
we won't- yeah,
but
we won't
what
see
we are
that.
going to see is a massive disruption on a large scale that we've never seen before, of people just being out of work and struggling because of the income disparity you see between the people at the top and the people at the bottom that still have to work to live.
Yeah.
With robots and machinery and AI taking over, the jobs for like menial tasks and things like that are just going to be wiped out, with no recompense. Like people won't have any other thing to do. So,
Well, Roomba's already stealing maids' jobs.
Well, let's be honest though, right? Like, because if this
Don't clean
happens, like,
toilets.
if Shoppers and all these places have, like,
You throw it in the toilet.
all automatic checkouts, right? Let's be honest.
Well, McDonald's has
eventually,
automated checkouts.
exactly, but more and more it's gonna happen, and then these motherfucking robots are gonna come to your house. They're gonna rape your wives, and they're gonna take.
They're gonna rape your wives' pleasure units.
Did you not just see the same movie I saw? They outthink us.
They will compromise
I
your
don't know
wife's
that
Look at
movie-
once-
that
pleasure
film was meant to be
centers.
taken
Look at-
philosophically.
Pleasure centers.
Look how
bro.
many jobs will be gone once they have like the automated trucks and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And automatic.
So really,
automated taxis and everything.
Yeah, but the great
That
thing
was
about
Johnny
film
Cash
is
based
though,
on a
is
true
that
story. You know that,
any
right?
movie can be
See Total Recall.
researched, investigated, and looked at further and more deeply, and you can come up with anything.
what does that have to do with that?
Well, just because it could have a deeper meaning within it. Anybody could find a deeper meaning within that. Anyone could.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I'm saying. Because you said what you don't think there's a deeper meaning there, but there could be.
I've never seen this movie before, but I can't believe no one's brought up Maximum Overdrive.
I've only seen clips. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. It didn't
I don't
really.
think I have
Maximum
either.
Overdrive.
Oh yeah, you were probably
it's
too
the
young.
only.
I was too young.
It's the
for
only
it.
thing Stephen King's ever directed.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's at least one of the only things he's ever directed, and then no one would ever let him direct again.
Is
Brigham,
get back to that typewriter.
Brigham, have you seen it?
No,
Is that
See,
the
and
dirt
you would have
bike
been of
movie?
age.
It's the one.
unless I just
Kale,
don't
you?
remember. But
Wasn't
movie?
Emilio Estevez
Isn't it
the
the
star?
one where the machines come to life?
Well, it was
essentially,
trucks,
and
like Mack trucks.
Somebody gets attacked by a vending machine, spitting out pop cans or something like that.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh,
Out
that's
of-
got to be our next movie.
Out of coffee.
oh, wait, yeah. Okay, he just made me think of how much we have to give props to those Capri Sun drinks in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was
Like
the first
beers,
one? The
bag of-
Coors one?
The bag of beers.
Bag of beer
Out of
and
this
Coke.
whole thing, that's what I want to become reality.
Yeah.
Dude, that looked like an actual beer mug in his hand. It didn't look like a Capri Sun.
I'd be
You
loading
know why
those
that
things
wouldn't
up
work?
for
Probably
like
just the fizz.
hiking trips.
But
Fuck it up.
that old
camping.
guy just like tears it open.
can
There's no
get bags
drinking
of
spout
beer.
or anything.
Yeah, just like a
It's
clear
just like
flap
Capri
off the
Sun.
top.
Kind of. It's a bladder bag. So they're these at home. It's kind of like a keg dispenser, like a Keurig for beer kind of thing, where there's these one customers that come to the brewery and they bring you a bag, and then you hook the bag right up to the fermenter to fill it, and then you put that bag inside the like kegerator thing at your house, and then you put your glass underneath it, and it pours you out a beer. So you can.
But it's still in a glass.
Like nacho cheese at 7-Eleven.
Yes, but you could technically probably make that exact same bag with a little hole for a straw to be popped.
Can you do that again?
Well, I think that's
Show
where
me that again.
Do you want that though?
I think that's where the future's
more
going.
so.
Yeah.
Because you could always just get one of those bladder bag backpacks and fill that up with beer.
Yeah. The Camelback.
Yeah.
But I think the
I think
Capri
that
Sun
loses
approach is
something.
where everything's going.
Yeah,
as
but
far
then
as,
you're
like, waste
littering in
goes.
nature.
But it takes up less space, and by then, hopefully, it would be biodegradable. So, like, there's no evidence of it ever happening at all.
Yeah.
But like those Capri Sun bags, like the way like astronauts live, they would take up way less space.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, it would fill this
the
entire
guy's
flat
alive,
Earth
t-shirt.
full of Capri Sun.
See his shirt
Capri
for
Sun
clarification
empty
on that joke.
refused packages, flat as the Earth.
That was pretty.
Yeah, that would be
badass,
like a
though.
case
That
of
was
beer
their-
would be a lot lighter. You wouldn't have all the glass.
Well, okay. Let's be honest again. Look at Back to the Future. So Back to the Future.
I was hoping you were going to say look at Kool-Aid
predicts
Jammers.
all this like shit in the future that has not happened, right? But this movie, as horrible as it may be, may have predicted the.
Is
Capri
it though?
Sun. No, I think it might actually have been genius.
Is it though?
I thought you were
I think
going
it's genius.
robots and AI, but then you may have predicted the pre-sun.
Oh, like come on, man! Like people like the flying cars and all this bullshit.
Brigham.
You know what? That was probably the most real thing that we could have seen predicted.
Brigham,
a bag drink.
Too.
Brigham, if you're willing to watch this movie again, I am in. We should take mushrooms. We should microdose. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Heroin.
Heroin.
We will watch it completely sober, with Bibles in our hands.
Tide Pods.
Yes,
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yes, we will watch it with Bibles.
What if it's good the more you watch it? The first time I saw Anchorman, I hated it. I saw it in the theaters. And
Well, that's how I felt about Step Brothers.
But that's
the
because
first
it
time I
was-
saw Step Brothers was the same
like,
thing.
why is this
It
a
was
movie?
so fucking boring.
What?
But that movie, like, it
Anchorman?
was, no, what we just watched, it was like the shortest movie. But like I said, it
79
took
minutes?
It was like, you know how people say shit like, you're like, how long is it? Like, oh, it's a good hour. Not just an hour, a good hour. So that means probably longer.
That
than
was
an
a
hour.
long hour.
It seemed like
A long hour.
there were like
Like
they're
we were
talking.
walking
It was
with
so
them.
boring certain parts. But if you're actually paying attention, maybe it meant
We had to
something,
make
right?
camp for
Like-
the night.
Like I said, in the end, they won.
See,
They-
to me, it was kind
They
of
did,
like
and that's a good point. Maybe they did plan that, man. That's genius.
well,
to
they-
me,
they
it was
fell in
kind of
love,
like an arts
technically.
film that was like dream comedy, but then we're also an arts film. So we're going to do things that you might see in a mainstream comedy, but then we're also just going to stare at these two robots and watch the sun go down for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have sped some of that shit up. Like even the intro. The intro wasn't helping.
Oh, the cold open, though.
Yeah, the cold.
did many cold opens happen back? I mean, I know the James Bond movies were cold opens, but not much were cold opening back then. I could be wrong about that. I'll edit.
And
this
see,
part out if I have to.
whereas, see, the weird, like, with a James Bond movie, though, you get, like, the Paramount or MGM thing come up, and then you get the cold open, and then you get the intro. This one had the cold open before the Universal Paramount.
before both Universal.
But it had
was
no,
it
no.
sandwiched.
It,
It
no,
was
yeah,
all
it had,
sandwiched
oh,
between
yeah,
it.
it had the Universal,
Although,
and then
although
it.
at the same time, that was a newer Universal Globe at the beginning, so that could have just been the DVD.
Yeah,
Universal
true.
Globe.
Still, nonetheless, on the DVD, they've
How many
sandwiched that
times are we
motherfucker.
indoctrinated with that throughout that?
The round earth, the truth,
The alleged
hashtag
round
the
earth.
truth.
Yeah, maybe.
I think really what I took home from that is that whole movie is that director really had something against rabbits.
That was weird, actually. The
Oh
rabbit.
man, I think we should
The
remake
raccoon.
that movie.
That was a weird movie. That
It
was
was
a fucking weird movie.
just crushing the rabbit.
The police car thing was pretty cool, but also very cheesy. It was like
At times, it sounded like James Earl Jones. At times, it sounded like
Yeah, it did switch it.
Keith David.
Robert Stack a few times.
Is Keith David the black one?
In what?
Because there's two actors. There's Keith David and there's David Keith, and I think David Keith is the white one.
In what?
Hollywood.
Hollywood actors in the movie biz.
Oh, I
Existence.
You know Cameron Diaz's stepdad in Something About Mary.
Brett
It's been a long time.
Oh, the black guy.
Brett
Favre.
I've
Ben
actually
Stiller?
never seen
Oh, yeah.
Something About Mary in its entirety.
Really?
I know the Brett Favre ending in the sense that I know Brett Favre is in the ending, and I've seen the
guy's
the
house that he
penis.
zips his penis into. The black guy.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't that
That's Keith David.
That's
It-
not
at
Michael Clark
times,
Duncan?
that cop car sounded like him, James Earl Jones, and
See, I don't know why,
yeah, maybe
but I
a little
just,
Mike Clark.
in my head, I think I just, because I've never seen that movie in its entirety, I think I just put Michael Clark Duncan in there because I feel like that's a role he would have done at the time.
Yeah.
I
Like
do
just
like-
a random short little.
It also
not
sounded like
cameo,
him at
but-
times.
I do like that cop car also would just be driving down the road explaining the plot of the movie and moving it forward. Like, without him, I really wouldn't have known anything that was going on.
And it was also dumb as shit, right? It was like it sees a tree stump. It's like,
Well, can we talk
Identify
about
yourself.
Can we talk about the nostrils?
Okay, yeah, that was pretty good.
It's just a selfie stick
like
of
so-
nostrils
yeah,
that comes
yeah,
over the
it's
bottom.
just like an antenna
Nostrils
with
on
a-
the end of a selfie
I want to
stick.
know what the round table was like when they came up with that.
See, okay, this is
got
this
this
is my
moving
pitch.
antenna, right?
This is my pitch for the idea on that. We were talking about Alien earlier, and so this came out 2 years after Alien, and Alien has a mouth that comes out of a mouth and like sniffs Sigourney Weaver's Sigourney Weaver's face, and it's all like.
I like Sigourney
entire
Weaver.
time. I think that may have been the inspiration.
That's the
mouth
porn version.
The mouth coming out of the mouth, because the mouth that came out of the mouth of the car was in the grill, which is like the mouth of the car.
Which is weird
If
because
you've ever seen Pixar's Cars, that's where they talk.
Which is weird because Sigourney Weaver wanted to be in this movie, but her agent talked her out of it.
Another thing that
Did you say
Would
she
you
actually
bang
wanted
Sigourney
to be in it?
Weaver?
Or it was her choice to be in it. She was talked.
Yeah,
out of
she
it?
actually she had interest in being in it, and her agent talked her out of it.
She's waiting
For
for
good reason.
Ghostbusters.
Terrible reason?
I'm just happy
Good
we got
reason.
somebody that smelled crime.
Back to the lab, more penetration. So, but
what
I
about
think
Turner and Hooch? He would have smelt crime, whatever one Turner is. I don't know which one is which. I feel like Hooch is
sure he
actually
could
Tom
smell
Hanks.
Turner is Tom Hanks.
Was Turner just one giant nose?
It's possible.
I just watched this movie. actually.
Turner and Hooch was one person. Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and
Yeah. But
Turner and Hooch, I hardly know her.
so Brett, what are your thoughts on transhumanism? You told me before we started taping tonight that.
I don't know what you're looking for exactly. with
Well, you
this.
said you had thoughts on it, but you just didn't really dust them off because you didn't know we were talking
I
about
mean,
it.
it's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
It's like the slow move towards man being one with machine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. It's essentially going to be the next evolution of humanity. is,
Absolutely.
slowly to become one with machines, but I mean, in the interim, it's interesting to see what people are doing by modifying themselves.
Yeah, like
pacemakers
have been around for quite a while.
I'm really
now,
interested
and-
in like the bionic eyes and things like that, especially coming from somebody who needs glasses.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see what they can do.
Yeah.
But
in eye
would that be
modifications.
something you would do, though? Would you get an eye modification like that?
It depends what it would be like. I mean, I can't say now, but
See,
if I could picture the technology as something that would be like
get your real eye taken out and have a
Maybe for like in 200 years, like that technology.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't want to be the
exactly.
first 10 people to try it.
it just explodes in your skull every time.
none
Like,
of this,
"Ah, it
none of the
happened
stuff
again."
I really expect in our lifetimes.
Right.
But
Would you
well,
get a
see, that's the
penis
other thing is that
modification
I
for
think
interviews?
that if
I would.
humans merge with machine this much, then you are going to have a war between all those humans that are like, what the hell are you doing? And all the humans that are trying to, I guess.
and I mean,
I don't
that's,
know,
that's
like,
the same
evolve?
thing that happened between
Goal
Neanderthals
accomplished.
and,
No,
Everyone's
it's
sapiens,
right, so it's-
Yeah, but
that's-
there's always going to be war, so absolutely.
I
that's
just watched the
very
last
possible.
Planet of the Apes movie, so
I think that's what they
also in
want,
my
though,
head.
right? They just want to get rid
In the
of
sense
people.
that the next
keep
form
the
of
robots.
evolution was now battling with the previous form, and that also reminds me of X-Men, obviously.
But I really see too, like if like all these robots do take like all the humans' jobs, I can really see like humans fighting back and like bombing whatever factory that all these robots just took over.
And that's where I was talking about with income disparity. Like, yeah, that's for sure a future.
Things are gonna get
because,
tight.
Yeah, if people don't have any way to live, then they're going to revolt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I was saying, the only real way forward in a situation like this is to adopt some kind of basic income, which a lot of places are starting to look into. Some towns
Bitcoin?
in Ontario, no, where basic income.
Universal
and I'm
basic
not
income.
by any means an expert on the economy, but at its most basics, it involves everybody getting what they can to live on.
Yeah.
But
like
it would
$300 or $400
eliminate
a
things
week
like
or
welfare.
something.
It would eliminate a lot of the government spending programs. But everybody gets
It's not like enough to cover rent and food or something.
yeah,
like,
exactly. So everybody gets enough to live on, and if you want to make more, then you could go and do something you like.
Yeah.
Well,
So
see,
it lets
that's the
people
thing
focus
too. Is
on-
That
that
just sounds like a utopia.
Well, yeah,
Sounds
and
like
and
horse
that's-
shit.
and that's what the end goal would be, is some type of utopia. But the problem is with the disparity in income. You know, it's going to be a long ways before.
Yeah,
we
but
get
do
to
the
that.
powers that be actually want a utopia
No,
for
it's not.
everyone?
And that's
well,
the
but you
problem.
could even
They
look
just
at
want
the
it for
new.
themselves.
You can even look at the new minimum wage, though. where it's already been researched numerous times in various countries that the current minimum wage, as it's just gone up, is still not enough for everyone to have a basic quality of life.
Well,
like, it's still not enough.
That's the problem with minimum wage. Is anytime minimum wage goes up,
well,
it just forces inflation to move along with it.
Yeah. But see, even if you went to a base wage, that's still
minimum
going
wage
up
are the ones
more.
that get screwed.
That's still going to go up more, though. So how can you really say, well, if you go a base wage where everyone's making exactly what they need to make, well,
not every
then
base
that
wage goes
raises
up,
everything else. Though.
People that aren't making minimum wage already, a lot of people don't get their wages raised. It just stays where it is.
Same.
So then when inflation goes up, it affects them the most.
Yeah. And what you're saying about basic income, people in this country who can't walk or do anything for themselves, they don't get anywhere close to what is a basic income.
No, absolutely.
It's absolutely horrendous. So I can verify that one, but
see, but that's the tricky thing
out.
with something like socialism, because then you could help those people because there would be more equal footing. But then to also say, well, it's terrible the hand that they've been dealt, but I'm actually curing cancer. That's obviously an extreme example on both ends, but that's the tough thing, is that there are so many good ideas within all these different views of politics and government and society that the utopia is impossible. Like, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen just because the people that have the ability to make it happen don't want it to happen for everybody.
And that's
but it couldn't happen for everyone. Even if we all had the exact same things and we were all just totally set financially and everything, eventually human nature is going to cause other things to rise up and take its place.
Yeah, well, I think we would fuck up somewhere along the way anyway. Just like people, like if we were given basic income, like people would still fuck that up.
Oh,
like there's always going to be people that like if you do give them a break such as that, they would still find a way to just
Well, that's what I mean.
Look a gift horse in the mouth.
Human nature, obviously, but it is inherent to our nature as human beings.
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's hard to picture what concept is going to work in the future, but the whole idea behind basic income is that it comes into place when machines have taken over and artificial intelligence has taken over enough that they can make all the menial tasks not have to be done, and people don't have to go out and
just does all the minimum wage
so
jobs.
They're free to actually be home with their families and take care of their families, and not have to be scraping by with 3 jobs in order to make enough to cover themselves for the next week.
Yeah, and that's what all they're doing. They're living to work.
Exactly.
And that is no kind of life.
We've gotten to a point in humanity where, like you said, we live to work.
Yeah,
that's absolutely.
See, one of the reasons why I don't think that we will ever go fully automated in our jobs and all that kind of stuff is because after a certain point, you are guaranteeing that you are no longer needed. Because if you keep creating technology to make it easier for you as a human,
how many kids there'll be?
Eventually plant you and supersede you, and you are no longer going to have any ounce of evolutionary ability or any ounce of coming up with new knowledge.
You're going to stop. Yeah, you're right. You're going to stop wanting to learn and create.
And that's what it is. That's when we start to evolve into the next phase.
But I don't see that as evolution. I see that as de-evolution.
We've built it.
No, we definitely have.
And it's continuing on our legacy.
But that's why
it's a
pretty good debate, though.
Yeah, but don't you think it's de-evolution anyway, what's going on right now?
Oh, I definitely do.
We rely too much on technology.
But we haven't fully realized it because the young generation is still eating it and eating it.
And it's getting worse.
Exactly.
I mean,
because
it's the first. It is the first generations coming out now that's all they know. Like, we never knew that. We knew it to an extent with our very basic video games.
The big difference with the new generation, though, is that with this, they just get to use it. They
don't know any different. Yeah,
my nieces have never not known swipe screens.
Well,
but they don't really grow up. They don't really grow up knowing what's behind that technology. Whereas our generation kind of grew up with it and learned how it works and kind of knows what the inner workings
But
is.
I think that's where
you don't need
humanity
to know. You
comes
just
in.
go to Walmart and they have it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's where humanity comes into the picture, and that's
Yeah.
why I don't think we can ever fully go all the way to tech, is because if we do that, then we are pretty much signing our death warrant.
Yeah.
And I
But
realize
they're
that you
gonna.
could
Yeah,
also
that
argue
is
that we
fucking
already
right.
have signed that death warrant.
Someone's going to
but-
do it.
And that's the issue with capitalism, is that capitalism is, you need to keep making a profit over anything else. So
Yeah. And
I mean, if they
increasing
can
that.
use AI to replace humanity to keep making profits, they will. So that's what's going to keep pushing it forward.
But I think that goes back to the fact that if you continue to do that, then you are completely removing wow, I can't talk right now. Creativity,
I'll edit
evolution,
all this out.
added knowledge, all of those things from people, because we're not going to keep pushing the boundaries to do
That's
more.
why I thought. That's why I thought about
Robots doing
fidget
it for
spinners,
us.
man. I thought fidget spinners are cool, but a kid who would normally be at school he would be doodling or something, drawing.
At the same time, though, on the other side of
as
that,
someone who's in that environment, fidget spinners need to go away, because
you don't hear
it
much
is so
about
much better
fidget spinners
just
anymore.
have like a student like doing something
That's
else.
exactly what I'm. That's my whole point. Even if
you're
you're playing little drums on, like, to me, it's better than that. There's a lot of creativity that goes down the tube with just
But
that
I imagine
fidget
the
spinner.
guy who sold doctors on fidget spinners was the same guy that goes in with like new drugs to try and make money for a
for
company.
sure.
What do you mean
Here,
sold
look at
on
these things.
Hold on.
Kids don't have to do drugs anymore. They can just sit here and spin this thing over and over and over again.
What do you mean sold doctors on fidget spinners? Doctors are prescribing fidget spinners?
Yeah, it does happen. Like some doctors, child psychologists.
This will all be edited, don't worry. Heroin.
No, they said that
do.
it was
They suggest to
beneficial.
parents maybe get your son,
because it's
daughter, transgendered individual, child, get them a fidget spinner. And,
Well,
like,
I mean,
help
there
them
is-
pay
there
attention
is
in
some-
class.
That was a good job
There's
covering all the
something
bases.
behind that. Like I have a hard time concentrating and paying attention. If I'm in a meeting or something like that, it's difficult to stay on topic. But I don't have a fidget spinner. But if I have a pen or something in my
No,
hand,
but that's
Exactly,
that's
right.
what that's what we're
Anything,
saying
yeah.
is that like anything is better than just mindlessly spinning something
Yeah.
around. Because at least if you're tapping your pen, maybe you're making a beat. Maybe you're
well,
trying to see.
I'm not making a beat with my pen in a meeting. I'm just
No,
I'm
but-
just moving
okay.
it around
In
in my
your
hand.
No,
head,
but
bro.
okay, give me a
Maybe,
second,
but-
Mark. Like you could be,
Yeah, but if you had
you're a
some
kid in
drumsticks,
school
you
that
would make
loves
a
to
beat.
drum, maybe you're sitting there tapping out a new beat. Maybe you're trying to count how many times you can tap that in a minute, staring at the clock. But your brain is firing whatever.
How many
it is.
times can you
The
tap
thing
that?
is with
in a minute?
these is you're not supposed to be concentrating on what you're doing with the item in your hand. All it's doing is helping you concentrate on what you're supposed to be concentrating on.
But would you really say that tapping your pencil or pen or whatever makes you concentrate better on that?
Well,
that's
yeah,
choice.
absolutely.
That's choice. If a kid is sitting there
Okay,
doing
but
this,
I didn't
or
find the
like
fidget
doing
spinner
this,
did that
crumpling
for me.
paper, writing
Like,
stories, playing with a fidget
You're
spinner,
paying attention to
you
the fidget
lost
spinner.
them.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, I know with me, if I have a pen or something in my
Similar.
hand, I'm not paying attention to that, but it's helping me concentrate and not,
Yeah.
make my mind flow to something else.
Have you ever
And
held
I
a
see
fidget
I hear
spinner?
that side of it as well,
Yeah.
but
Those things spin, man.
Yeah.
They just keep going.
they're like Beyblades.
Although what I would find really annoying, have you seen the fidget cubes?
No.
Those are terrible.
Are they just cubes that fidget spin?
No,
They
so-
have four
It's
four
a
different, or it's a cube,
cube,
right? So yeah,
so
however many
6.
sides it has, 6 sides, and every side is something different. But
And it'll go like
yeah, it makes
or-
the clicking noises and does a whole bunch of different things. So
Like,
at least with the
yeah.
fidget spinner, it just spins
Yeah.
and kind of doesn't do
There's
anything.
no bells or whistles.
Yeah, so, and this is like,
although
would
on
be
some of these there
very
are
annoying.
literal
One
bells
side,
and whistles.
One side gives you the weather.
I
Yeah.
get like
like you know the guy in Police Academy that makes all the noises.
Michael Winslow.
Yeah, that is what one of those fidget cubes are.
Yeah.
Just him doing a different voice or noise
The
on
Jimi
each side.
Hendrix guitar solo.
like crossing the border. I'd get so nervous that if I was on a tunnel bus, so I started buying like scratch tickets, and I'd scratch them the whole way.
yeah, because it's just like something to
Yeah.
kind of take your mind off of whatever
But
else.
possibly getting butt searched. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
But I would say a fidget spinner is something to throw in there to take away. I don't know. Like it's hard to explain that. I think there's more freedom and more opportunity for potential knowledge gaining and development with that kid that's, as an example, tapping his pencil or disturbing class to make a joke. Like, there are those...
You think they should be disturbing class rather than paying attention?
Absolutely.
See, in my thing, when I think back to my education that I had growing up...
It's the janitor hiding in the closet.
Like, people were doing everything beside me. It didn't detract from me, because the biggest thing for me in my education was whether I was engaged or not. It didn't matter if Joe Schmo was playing with a fidget spinner, because that's the reason why he has that fidget spinner,
you're
is
not
to not
interested, you're not
distract
interested.
me. Not to keep him satisfied, but to not distract me.
Well, and that's what the fidget spinner is for, is because it's quiet and it doesn't distract you. But if someone's sitting there making jokes or drumming, is a little different.
But at the same time, that kid might not be, because
Crushing
yes, some
rabbits.
kids do have a nervous tick, or they do have those attention problems.
Nice call,
So I guess my beef really isn't more with fidget spinners. It's just that, like, diagnosis of ADD or ADHD, it's just being thrown out there.
Well, it's a completely different
If
argument.
we went,
And it was a
It is,
trend.
but it isn't.
Big trend.
It is
Well,
what
I'm
it is,
talking
but
about-
it
I'm just
isn't. It's kind of
going
like
down the
it
road.
is
We were
what
just
it
talking
is.
about these things being used to help with attention. We're not talking about them being...
But that is exactly what they're just, like, given to children for, is because they have ADHD.
Yeah.
They're diagnosed with that, and that's
what it-
instead
yeah.
of doing not doing drugs, but like putting the kids on a drug. They give them that now. That is why they
So
exist.
you don't think that trying that rather than putting them on like Ritalin for the
I'm
rest of
not
their life?
saying that. I'm saying that in the same way that ADHD and ADD are being thrown out to every kid, like,
I mean, but at the
when
very
we
least,
went
they're
to
not
school,
drugging them.
every single kid we went to school with had ADD.
It's just so they won't dream of Freddy.
Nature. If you're not engaged, you're not going to pay attention to
agree.
something. Doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, yeah.
If we were to tell you go watch that movie again, would you want to go do that?
No.
That was actually going to be
but-
my wrap-up question to this whole thing. So let's get into that. Kieran,
Yes.
would you watch Heartbeeps again? I know you watched it because it's Valentine's Day today, but if it wasn't Valentine's Day, would you watch Heartbeeps?
I kind of think I would, just because, like, it's not very good, but I do think it has some redeeming quality to it, just in terms of the conversation we're having now. Otherwise, we all need to rethink our lives, because we just watched that movie and now we spent a few hours talking about it, and hopefully we're all enjoying this
And
conversation
debating
like
watching
I
it
am.
again.
And debating watching it again in general. Thank you.
Would you watch it on heroin? Brett, would you watch Heartbeeps again?
No.
No?
I don't see any reason to.
Not even if I threw a bag of Black China heroin right in front of you.
If they made a sequel that was just that car going on a rampage,
The cop car.
that's all I want to see.
No, I want to see the cop car chase after Phil the entire time. Just Phil, just running from the
Are
cop
you sure?
car.
Are we sure there
Phil was
wasn't
like
an after credit
Gizmo,
scene?
He was
where
like,
No,
it just
Phil
comes-
was like macking me. It was always whistling. It had
And he
that,
had like
it had that
feelings.
butthole mouth.
He had feelings.
It had the butthole mouth. It just like the whole time. I just made a butthole mouth.
I like to see the cop car and him as like a Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. It just like keeps failing at catching.
So we got to make this happen. What would you, Kale? What'd you say earlier? We're gonna do this summer.
Yeah,
We're gonna do the sequel.
June, July will be
For-
fun.
Okay, so here's my question now then.
To Electric Boogaloo.
Okay. There are other movies, such as Catwoman, which we discussed earlier, whether that's on here or not, that I would never, ever, ever watch again because it was terrible.
You talking about Halle Berry?
Yes.
Catwoman? Okay. I don't know if I've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Don't. I would say watch this before I say watch that movie.
Would you rather
That
watch
has Halle
Beautician
Berry
and
in
the
it.
Beast?
I've never seen that movie, but I imagine that's
Or
like a
rather listen to Fran Drescher for 8 hours.
Yeah, but but there's
Fran
bad
Drescher
movies,
or the,
and then there's
what's
this
her face
movie.
from Friends.
And this is the type of
Janice.
movie you can watch again.
Who's worse?
My God. Brigham.
No.
Will you watch this movie? Will you watch Heartbeeps again?
I would, yeah. Yeah, because I feel there's more to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, somehow I feel that same way, that there's somewhere in its terrible,
is it-
terrible
That's what I was
movie
gonna-
that it
Is
That's what I
it
was
just
gonna say.
genius and we're not getting it? Because
That's what
I'm
I-
totally open
That's
to
what-
like.
he said no.
That's what I was going to say. I would watch it again just because there's probably more to mine out of it. Like,
Yeah.
there's probably more there to learn.
More to mine out of it. But it seemed like a shallow puddle the entire time. Like,
Yeah.
But still, I
Still
think
some
that
gold
like
flakes in there.
I think just because it's Andy Kaufman, there's got to be something to it. If
Yeah.
it was just some guy,
Or is that the most meta thing to it? That he was so aware that everyone would think that,
Yeah.
so he was just like, "I'm just gonna make a bad movie."
maybe he just didn't want to make the Tony Clifton story.
Who knows?
Career suicide.
I
mean, how?
But
soon,
I mean, just watching his like other shit, right?
How
like
soon-
in all
how soon
honesty,
did he-
was it good?
how soon after that did he get cancer? Because that was only 3 years. Like that movie came out and then he was dead.
That's
3
what it
years
said.
later.
That's what it said. I was saying it gave him him gave him cancer.
Yeah.
Like his like I watched a lot of it, and I even said this to Kale that if I was at one of the the event where he just read the book, The Great Gatsby, I would have left.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody would,
right? Like, so it's a tough one.
I'm that guy that I would have been the last guy. I would have stuck it.
You had to see where he's going with
Well,
this.
generally, like just growing up, growing up in my family though, like my parents and like me and my brother, we always were like, we would watch the entire credits. Like we'd watch a movie together and we'd just sit through the entire credits. We'd go to a movie. I mean, I don't do this anymore, but like you go to the movies when I was younger, and we would just sit through the entire credits. Now you have to because like a lot of these superhero movies are putting like Easter eggs at the end of it.
Yeah.
Credits are still on.
But I think that like
John Williams scoring, so they just stretched it out.
come from a different age where we grew up with
more of an attention span.
Yes, but with comedians being inspired by Andy Kaufman to the point where there was Andy Kaufman in kind of everyone, so we get the joke now. Whereas at the time, if we were at where he was reading Gatsby, we wouldn't have been in on the joke and we would have thought this is stupid. Now, some people, yes, would have stayed. But I think it's easy for us to say that we would have stayed. And that's why I'm curious if we would have actually stayed. Because we now, with the knowledge we have of Andy Kaufman, we would know that this is the point, and this is why this is absolutely hysterically funny.
Well, it depends because people were there specifically.
It's almost like he was meant to die for his story to be told.
Like even when you look at
why hasn't Bill Hicks' story been told?
Alex Jones,
River Phoenix brother Joaquin Phoenix, when he kind of had his Kaufman-esque moment for that movie where he went completely bonkers to everyone when really, I mean, he comes out and says after the fact that it was just a role.
Yeah.
But like that's totally inspired by Andy Kaufman.
Yeah,
that idea,
I'd say.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why with Jim Carrey that we were talking about earlier, it's like, can we buy that this is Andy Kaufman when we know this man has such an affinity for Andy Kaufman?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Valentine's Day Heartbeeps. I would like to thank you boys again for being part of this. I apologize for wasting 79 minutes of your life. But what we have right now is I'm going to go around the table here. I'm going to ask you guys some questions.
Would it be 10 questions?
It would be 10 questions. It'd be the Lipton's 10. If anyone knows who James Lipton is of Inside the Action Studio. I'm going to start over here with...
Are we all answering the same 10 questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with you, Irishman.
Oi.
What is your favorite word?
Fuck.
Okay, that's a good answer. Yeah. Brett, what is your favorite word?
Go away.
That's 2
words. That is 2 words.
You can say cunt if you want.
No, that's not. I mean, this involves a lot of thought. You can't just ask somebody their favorite word on a whim.
Well, that's the whole point of it, is that you just got to come up with something.
Well, it's just a podcast in a duplex basement, so you don't. I don't know how official any of this is. It's just for funsies. Is it pleasure?
Pleasure set. Let's go with unity.
Unit. Brigham, what's your favorite word?
Oh wow,
that's 2 words. That's 3 words.
I can't say anything because you're gonna keep counting how many words.
Just say
several words.
just say a word. Time is a factor.
Man, okay, then
There's
I'm gonna go with dude. I like dude.
Dude.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Kale.
Good. It's a good word.
See, he answered it succinctly.
I answered it succinctly.
It doesn't even have to be.
I had like
your
45
favorite
minutes to
word.
think about it.
What's yours? You have to answer the questions too. You're not James Lipton. You're not.
Does James Lipton ever answer?
No,
the
he
questions?
doesn't. But
I am
you're not
James
James
Lipton.
Lipton.
What's my favorite word?
Now he knows what it's like.
Rambunctious.
That's a good one.
Kiernan, what's your least favorite word?
I mean, everybody hates moist, but I think because everybody hates moist, I think that word is one of the funniest words in
My
the English
vagina
dictionary.
just tingled when you said that.
Least favorite word. Oh, actually, I can't think of it right now. What is it? There's a word that it's one of the few words that I actually have a really hard time pronouncing.
These are many words.
Oh, what is it?
Aluminum.
No.
Aluminium.
Hallelujah.
No. Okay, I can't think of it, so it's more like everything behind the word, but religion.
Religion?
Yeah, it's just everything behind that. So it's not really the word itself. It's just, this is hard. This is hard.
Again, I feel like
I know my favorite
You guys
word,
are putting
but
way too much pressure on yourselves. Just this is all for fun.
It's hard to think of a word.
You can be funny if you want and just say apricot.
I'm
Brett.
trying. That could be read into far too much, and this is not the right
Yeah,
climate for
Africa.
that.
Brett, what's your least favorite word?
Apricot.
You fucking devil. Brigham.
Mine's cunt. I hate that word. Hate it.
You're still appalled by that word?
I don't like.
You're not
I just-
desensitized it?
No, I'll tell you why.
You need to see more British
I'll tell
comedy.
you why. Because in no way, shape, or form, if a chick said that to me, would it be attractive?
Yeah,
It's
but
just
that's
the way
also
it
a
is.
word that is a totally different meaning in other parts of the world.
It's the new fuck. It is.
It is quickly, I would agree,
We've
it's
already
quickly becoming the new
desensitized
fuck.
ourselves with
Yeah.
fuck, so we had to. Pretty soon, we're gonna have to think of something that's worse than cunt.
It's weird though, like you were just saying.
Cunt
if
is
you
mainstream
watch,
now.
If you watch an
Say
American,
it,
if you
cunt.
watch an American movie compared to like a British movie, or Scottish, Irish, Australian movie, and you see cunt come out in any of those.
Oh, there's lots of
It just
cunts.
feels completely different.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is.
It hits
'Cause
so
they're like,
much
"You
harder
bloody
in an American movie.
I know,
because we
'cause
have
it's
that
taboo.
like yeah. But the reason why I love fuck is just because it can be every form of a word. It can
Yeah,
be
it
a
can be
noun,
good, it
verb,
can be bad, it can
adjective,
be-
adverb. It can be
every word
good,
in a
bad.
sentence.
It
the
can-
fucking fuck.
everything.
Yeah. Fuck the fucking fuckers. Kale, what's your least favorite word, bud?
Irked.
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 Ooh.
What
Or
about
just like
irksome?
It really irks me.
Like all of them, like irking, irked,
Irksome?
just all of the whole
Yeah.
the whole spectrum.
That
Yeah.
word irks you. The word
It really
you.
irks me badly.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. My least favorite
Irked irks
word,
me.
off the top of my head, because I really hated this word once upon a time, tumultuous.
Oh.
I thought of that one.
I thought you weren't James Lipton. Or you were James Lipton.
Well,
so you
I-
can-
I- well, I'm
you just
having-
want, now you get to pick and choose the ones you answer.
Well, I'll answer all of them. I'll dig. I'll test. Kiernan,
See.
what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
I mean, emotionally, confidence. Spiritually, and what was the other one? Creatively?
Yep.
Is this in all three?
Oh, yeah. What, just want me to pick
You
one?
could say apricot 3 times.
Creatively, it's talent and just the willingness to explore talent, even if you don't have talent. Like, just that willingness to say, I'm going to try and do something because I have a creative idea. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool. Spiritually, conversation about anything. Deep, meaningful, stupid, frivolous. Conversation.
I like how you're answering this because you're wearing my brown couch blanket and you look sage-like in like
I actually
your Obi-Wan garb.
I kind of feel like
That was
it's
a deep.
like a lion skin, and there's actually a head hanging off my back.
Yeah, you
that
got
I could,
the
like,
hood.
put over my head, and
Yeah.
then I'd be a lion.
You look very sage-like. I don't know if we're gonna get a better answer than that, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna power through anyway. Brett, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or?
Oh, it is an or.
It is an or, yeah. So Kiernan answered all 3.
What's the third
I
one?
feel like
Emotionally.
you could say apricot to each one of those, and you
Well,
could
that-
probably bullshit your way through explaining it.
That is a pretty good answer.
I would know that you're lying because you've never talked about apricots before.
Have you ever eaten an apricot?
I think so.
They're okay. So Brett, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally, and or emotionally?
I don't know. I think it's just like it's kind of goes on what Kiernan said, but kind of like knowing yourself and knowing you can move forward no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that like you don't have to be stuck where you are. So like you can always take steps to make yourself better.
Mm.
And apricots.
Your two cousins.
I don't even know how to answer this, but those were two good answers. Brigham.
Yeah.
What turns you on creatively? What turns you on spiritually? Or what turns you on emotionally?
Well,
I feel like I'm on Family Feud.
yeah. Out of 100 people surveyed.
The last two answers have brought lumps to my throat, so good luck, bud.
Oh, yeah. Geez.
Gordon Street. I once knew a girl who lived on Gordon Street.
I'll tell you what. I think it's Heartbeeps. That's
nice.
That's my answer.
Which one though? Is that creatively? Is that emotionally?
It's all of them.
All of them.
And part 2 is just gonna trump it all.
It's mostly sexual.
Electric Boogaloo, right?
Yeah.
Kale. Blah 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 blah.
Sunsets.
For all three?
Yeah.
Sunsets, really.
Yeah.
You know what? I think
sunrises.
It sounds like you could be...
Sunsets for the first and third one, and sunrise for the second one.
Okay, so you are being a jackass?
Sure.
Because with your photography skills, I thought you that could still be an honest answer.
It's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Can I change my answer?
Yes.
Pleasure centers.
There you go. For all three.
For all three.
Yeah. I think the essence to life is being creative, and I think the pinnacle of well-being is to be spiritual. And I think it is most important to be rich with emotions in our lives. For it is us that is...
I was like, where are you going with this?
I stopped listening.
Kiernan!
The conductor.
What turns you off?
Lines. Heartbeeps.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Moonsets.
Some might argue
that was a slow burn, but it was worth it. Did you just coin the term moonsets?
I think it's a real thing.
Oh fuck! I've never heard that before.
When the moon
I've
goes
never
in.
heard that before. Yeah, let's go this way. Let's make it interesting. Brigham, what turns you off? Do lies turn you off?
Yeah.
It's written all over you.
Lies turn me off. Like turn me off. Like in
spherical things.
Are we talking?
Do spherical things turn you off? Admit it.
Well, no, because I like boobs.
Like frisbees.
Okay, so is this a
cats
sexual
knocking
question?
things off tables?
Like what? What do you mean by turn me off? Like turn me off of like movies or like
anything, man? Bad hygiene, like shitty people, Democrats.
Common sense.
Barack Obama, Justin
crowds
Trudeau.
turn me off, man.
Things
Crowds.
that are around.
You're saying crowds or krauts?
Crowds.
No, I
am a crowd.
Dude,
so.
I call bullshit on that.
Why?
And we're not going to talk about you in crowds anymore. How many times did you crowd surf past me at Green Day?
Well,
how many times? 7 times?
How about security? Does
saying
security
that it
turn
turns
you
me off? Like I don't want to go usually.
Yeah, but you do fine while you're in them, so it's all in your head. So what turns you off is the
well.
anxiety that you experience
Okay,
beforehand.
there you go. We'll go with that.
We're all human. We all experience it.
Okay, we'll go with that. Yep.
Brett, what turns you off?
Forced small talk.
What if it's...
But you're good at it too.
I don't mind moving into longer, more meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
But I hate forced small talk.
Your
What
engagement
turns into
this is different. I mean,
meaningful
like if you have
conversation?
to go to some kind of get together with people you'll never see again, or
yeah.
some sort of business meeting or something like that.
Yeah.
So not like just an awkward coming together with
I mean,
a
I
random
dislike
stranger?
meetings in general.
Does it ever
Meeting
kill you
people
when
in general,
weather is inevitably brought into it?
Yeah.
But sometimes that's brought up
happens a
like
lot.
for humor's sake.
Sometimes
And
it's
that
nice
can be
because it gives me
endearing.
an out.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
I
Yeah, you're
don't
just
know.
like, fuck the weather. And you walk away.
See ya.
Like if I was standing next to someone I found attractive, and I could also tell that they were attractive, and they were like, "So, how about all this snow?" Like I would find that really endearing.
Newfoundland?
No, I'm
Well,
talking
'cause
about
maybe
like
they're scared
the
to talk to you,
legitimate,
Like, so,
small
okay,
talk
so
of weather.
legitimate.
Just like, oh, it's a little warmer today. Just that, like, not even like if it's raining or it's snowing or the
What
old
if
man.
what
is
if they
snoring.
just say,
like, it's
"Well,
just
would
like,
you look at
whoa.
that?"
And that's what always.
And they
Sunny
just
covered
keep
perfectly.
saying,
Yeah.
"Well, would you look at that?" Over and over and over again.
What did
Do
you
remember that?
mean?
He doesn't remember that.
Oh, just the episode of Always Sunny where they move into the suburbs.
Oh yeah. It's hot out.
Yeah,
Is
it's hot
it?
out, is it? Yeah, is it? Is it, Wally?
Yeah.
Kiernan, you don't remember the "Well, would you look at that" thing? You're the one who showed that to me.
Well, how do you approach?
Oh, I wasn't listening. What are you
I've
talking
approached
about?
girls with
The
that.
"Well, would you look at that"?
What about it?
I said it like 5 times to try and see if you would get that.
Boys.
Oh, I get it.
Boys, it's Valentine's Day. Can we agree? Can we all agree that it's
No,
Valentine's
we're getting
Day?
a divorce, Brett.
Can we all agree that it's Valentine's Day?
I don't know what it's in
Yeah, yeah.
reference
On
to.
what?
We were talking about small talk and the weather.
Never mind.
Kiernan.
Let's move on.
Kiernan, what turns you off?
Turns me off.
How about
I guess
this guy?
a little bit.
The crowded house boy?
I would say lack of common sense, lack of empathy. Yeah, I guess those 2 things. Lack of a sense of humor as well.
I don't
Like
get it.
super PC people right now that just take every opportunity possible to lash out at people because they're making a joke in some instances, or just twisting people's words. That like really just
you
turns
mean
me
Native
off.
Americans?
Sure.
Kale, what's your favorite curse word?
Cunt.
Brigham, what's your favorite curse word?
Curse word.
Cunt for you too? Can I mark
No,
you down for another cunt?
Jew.
What's like? Oh, gee, my favorite curse word.
That'd be a great sequel. Name.
I guess I'm
Another
gonna go
Cunt.
with fuck.
the first
That'd be
movie.
Heartbeeps too.
Like,
The first movie's called Cunt, and then the
fuck's
sequel's
great.
called Another
Fuck is a
Cunt.
good word. I'm gonna go with what he said. I get it. Like it is everything, but just throwing it into a sentence, just like the
You stub your toe, it kind of alleviates some of the pain.
well, like that wedding singer shit.
Yeah, they
Where,
prove
you know,
that.
he's like
They prove
throw
in
that
studies
word
of
in front of any
profanity.
in any
Believes it.
song. It's amazing.
Pain.
You're going with the F-bomb, eh?
Yeah,
Please don't swear on my show.
I fucking won't.
Brett, what's your favorite curse word?
Microb.
What? What?
Leaving it there.
Okay, Kiernan.
God damn it. Or like some form of that
Is that all one
encourages the use of the word fuck.
GODDAMMIT?
No, like God,
No, that's
and then damn it.
okay.
Or just any, I don't know,
3
any
words, but
any curse word or curse terminology that involves God. Because that, I think, more than cunt, really is very irksome. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kale.
I hope you're not worried about Catholic schools listening to this podcast.
No.
I think the one I use most probably is Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus fuck is great.
So yeah,
I love
I'm
Jesus
throwing
fuck.
Jesus and God in as the same person.
Right.
Please don't get offended that I just did that.
I love Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, what else?
Christ on a bike is good.
That's too many syllables for
Christ
me
on a
when I'm
cracker.
mad. Jesus fuck
What
is
about
good.
Christ
3
on a
syllables.
cross?
It's not bad, but that's more realistic.
Kale,
It makes it more poignant.
Kale,
It's true.
what sound or noise do you love?
What's your favorite curse word?
I said Jesus fuck.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you know what? To be honest, motherfuck or sorry Brigham, cunt. Or sorry Kale and Brigham, irksome cunt. Kale, what sound or noise?
Jesus is an irksome cunt.
What sound or noise do you love?
That's a quote for the show. I don't know. A waterfall.
Okay.
Stick with my themes.
No, that's pretty. That's pretty.
All right.
I still expect you to like make jackass comments, but you make these serious ones like, oh yeah, waterfall does
So
sound
the
nice.
kind of
Or
intended as
babbling
half
brook.
jackass, just to get it over with.
Brigham,
Yeah. Yeah.
what sound or noise do you love that isn't your vape?
I'm gonna go with I like rain on a canvas tent.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or sometimes a tin
Whoa.
roof.
That's solid.
I search those. I sleep.
You
I
are
sleep
choking
them.
me up tonight, sir.
They're good. They're good.
Wow.
Well, you
Brett.
know why? It's because when you go camping and like you have those days where it rains, there's nothing you can do, but you got to get used to it. And I found like some of the best sleeps are during those, like just the rain hitting hard. You
In
know?
a tent when it's raining?
Yeah.
Sounds like hell to me.
Well, it's not fun, but you.
I'd like to hear the sound of
You'll
rain
sleep.
hitting a tent
If I know
while I
it's
was in the
gonna
car,
stop
maybe.
by the morning, then it's great.
Yeah,
It's really relaxing.
well, it really works. Like
better
I,
than when it's super
I
quiet and all you
YouTube
can
it
hear is
for
all the
bed.
shit in the woods.
Yeah.
I definitely YouTube it for bedtime. It's good.
You hear
I like
sticks
it.
breaking and
Yeah.
stuff barking and
Those are just
things
Otherwise
being-
known
things
as your
being attacked
impending
in the
doom.
woods.
yeah. The Blair Witch. Brett, what sound or noise do you love?
The noise of the woods at night. but
Bears
no,
in the woods at night.
to stick to the kind of camping theme, which is where I was going to go anyways, is I really like just sitting around a campfire and like just the crackling of the wood and the logs.
Yeah, that's
While
up
the,
there.
while the fire's
That's
going
up
off?
there.
No, when it's not on fire,
When
but
it's-
it's,
when
but
there's
it's
a
crackling.
fire.
And you know what's funny?
The natural crackling
is
of wood.
that is a good sound, but if you look for like rain on a tent sound or whatever, and you get like a shit one, it's fucked up. Like I'll be sleeping thinking all I'm hearing is bacon.
Oh,
Bacon.
yeah.
It's all bacon frying.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's
Yeah.
not rain. That's fucking
Shitty
bacon.
audio
No, that's
quality.
bacon. Yeah.
Especially like when you're just coming out of a sleep.
Crackling bacon.
Kiernan?
In some ways, I'm going to build off Brett's for mine. But just when you find comfortable silence with to your friends, your family, your loved one, your significant other, whatever. And the reason why I'm connecting it to his would be like, I always remember those moments when I'm around a campfire or something and no one's talking. You're all just kind of having that quiet and meditative, thoughtful moment, and that's all you hear. Or when, you're kind of sitting there with someone you love and you're just enjoying each other's presence and you know that nothing needs to be said.
That was good.
I just thought you were going to build off mine and say a house fire.
Sorry, I was
Dumpster
kind of not
fire.
trying to laugh
Sounded
right there
dumpster
because
fire.
he was like getting very emotional.
You know
as I
what?
said that. And I was like, I can't laugh right now.
I did
'cause
not
I'm actually trying to be
I did
genuine.
not expect this segment to have such Oscar winners and all the fucking answers. Like, holy shit! I thought all these questions were going to be like, just like, why are you asking me this
my
question?
answers?
I do
Jesus.
like that answer.
No,
though,
but
'cause
even
there-
your answers
there-
are just waterfalls.
There's a
Like,
start.
I was being genuine.
You're still a man of few words, but just the words
There's
that you
something
say is
great
just like,
about
Jesus.
that comfortable silence.
Ow.
Yeah.
That you can feel the
In a good
difference
way.
between
Yeah.
that and the awkward silence.
Yeah, when you kind of like it actually, whenever I think about it, it always reminds me of, I think it's 300 when Jared Butler's like going off to like fight, and like I think it's Laura, or what's her name?
Laura Croft?
No, Headley in Game of Thrones. Sarah Carl is.
That's Laura Headey?
Yeah, Headey. She's like, no words need to be spoken. And it's like, yeah, when you're there and you're in those moments, it's like, you don't need to say anything. You're just content where you are. You're comfortable. You're in love with that moment, and possibly the people you're with. Because you could also be by yourself in those moments. So, yeah, it's just, those are powerful, and that's, I guess, my favorite sound.
Yeah.
Steve is currently flipping through pictures of some kind on his phone.
I'm looking. Hold on, I'm looking for my favorite sound.
Is it porn?
No.
There may have
Is it-
been
is it ass
some
slapping?
promiscuous
Right here.
images. Are you saying baby's laughter?
That's terrifying. Is the next question least favorite sound? Because that's my answer.
I will say in second that hearing a child laugh, when they
Two
have an
little babies
experience
on some like vibrating thing, just giggling away.
hearing a child laugh when you know damn
but no.
well that they've never experienced any pain, anything bad, and they're just genuinely happy because a nacho just fell off a table. Like that's also a really good sound. They're just fucking happy. Sorry, I took your thunder.
Thank you. Thank you. No, but really, that scene when in Fargo when she comes up to the guy shoving Steve Buscemi in a wood chipper, that's my favorite sound.
Right. It's good sound.
The wood chipper?
Yeah.
Do you have something against Steve Buscemi?
Not anymore.
Is it Cheese Whiz or Cheese Whiz?
Cal. Or, no, I'll start here with Brett.
Besides that, something that just happened yesterday morning. I really hate car alarms that just go off without anybody shutting them off.
Yeah.
But to add to that,
they are a very bad device.
To add to that, and to bring it back to the sounds everybody kind of love, car alarms that go off in the middle of the night at camping.
Oh, Cal, you have any experience with that?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's happened plenty. Usually not for like a long time, but like enough.
Just takes you right out of the outdoor
the whole
experience.
Yeah, the illusion.
Oh, I'm back in suburbia.
Yeah.
And actually, car alarms that go off on your own site in the middle of the night while camping.
Oh, was that you?
And the guy whose car it is has walked away completely.
Oh, you knew who it was though?
Yes.
Oh, so there's nothing you could do about it.
No, he was gone with his keys.
Oh my God, that's even worse that it's coming from your source.
You just leave too until it goes off, so you're not associated with it.
Ah, that's a great answer, Kale. I'm going on that theme. What's your least favorite sound?
Not really on that theme. What, like for camping?
Yeah. Well, just for anything.
Coyotes nearby. I've had that a few times at a campfire. Actually, but those were when we were at a cottage, so it wasn't too bad. Like, no. I was gonna say, well, I guess kind of related to that is just annoying dogs barking in general. Like, if you have a neighbor that's dog won't shut up and just barking the whole time.
Yeah.
Any real constant noise that you can't control really bothers me.
Yeah. Kiernan, what sound or noise do you hate?
I got a few deep, dark ones that I'll keep to myself. But Janice or Fran Drescher's voice.
Chandler Bingley.
Like that, just blood curdling.
Aren't those two separate people?
They are.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Either one, just a little.
And shows. Oh, I was just confused because one was the character and the other was the actress.
Yeah.
And like one of the more dark ones would be like anytime an animal's in pain. Like I could take hearing like a human be in like some sort of like physical pain because I know they'll eventually be able to like verbalize things, but like hearing an animal, you're like, I don't know what to do for you unless I can see it, right? So yeah, it's bad.
You could be like Paul in that movie Paul.
Like the Alien movie?
Yeah. That documentary Paul.
Oh, where he's an empath and he can just touch people?
Yeah.
Would that be what they call an empath? That the empaths have to touch to feel, or they just feel naturally?
I think I don't know.
Brigham, what sound or noise do you hate?
Well, I'm gonna go with I'll agree with the animals. That didn't even cross my mind. That's horrendous. But I hate that
we're all
fucking.
trying to win Oscars.
I hate that reverse beeping shit. Like trucks.
That's awful.
I can't handle that, man.
And I will also say that I agree with what everyone else has said thus far in terms of these. I would also throw in, the alarm clock noise. When
Which
that
one,
typical
one
or just
yeah,
an
like
alarm going
just
off
all
in the
of them.
morning?
like all of them, but especially like the atypical.
I have old telephone that just bleeds into my dreams most of the time. I woke up at 6:04 today.
Yeah, no,
I made it.
Yeah.
alarm clocks are terrible.
I would have to say, I mean, I think it's a little too cliche to say nails on a chalkboard, but that is pretty bad. But like holding construction paper up to my ear,
Peaceful.
That's not going to translate.
I hate I can't.
That's not
even
going to
touch
translate at
construction
all
paper.
to the listeners.
Construction paper.
Construction paper.
Can you explain what that is?
No, I'll add in something from YouTube of someone doing that with construction paper.
With video? That's still not going to help.
Oh, it'll help. Kale, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Fighter pilot.
Wow. That's solid.
I call bullshit on that
I
one.
just went with that just 'cause
but
it's-
moving
I
right
just
along.
I just went with that because it was for speed, the quickest answer.
Brigham, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Comedy.
Really, still?
Well, yeah, always. I just probably never gonna do it.
You got some jokes for us?
No.
We'll work on some jokes tomorrow, and then we'll insert them into the.
Save them for Heartbeeps too.
Yes.
We should just
Brett.
We should just dub over Heartbeeps 1 with new jokes.
Yeah.
And see what we can come up like, kind of like a fake lip reading.
We will. I'll edit all this
This
out.
summer.
Brett.
This would never actually happen, but I read a book once.
Porn star?
What? To the Mountains, and he just lives as a fire ranger for a year in a remote cabin, like way up in the woods, and basically just lives to watch if there's any fires and report it down, but just gets to write and read the whole time he's there.
Yeah.
And I think just something like that would be awesome to try for months to a year.
It sounds like something Kale would do.
Yeah, I've seen jobs like that.
I was just thinking you would do it just to take pictures.
Kale's changing his answer from firefighter or whatever he said.
Fisherman or some stupid thing.
Kiernan.
Lighthouse keeper.
I feel a beard would help me fit into that role.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably cliche, but professional athlete.
In what?
Hockey.
Just hockey? You wouldn't go like multi-sport like Deion Sanders
maybe
or Bo
like
Jackson?
basketball or football, but I would choose hockey. It's my favorite one out of
Hockey?
all of them.
All right.
I think acting would be fun too.
Yes. Anything that doesn't require me to make car parts all day. I think it would be good for me.
Can you?
Distributing car parts.
Yeah.
Car part salesman. You get to be on the deeper in the chain.
Kale, what profession would you not like to do?
Car parts maker.
Hey. Brigham, what profession would you not like to do?
I'm just gonna tell you about 95% of them.
Like NASA? You wouldn't work for NASA?
No.
You wouldn't work for NASA if they offered you a job?
No.
I call bullshit
can't keep
on
a
that.
secret.
I would take. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't.
He'd
I would
be
take
making
their
websites
money
while
but no.
he's at NASA.
Yeah, still filming shit.
Dear vigilant citizen.
Yeah, here's the truth.
Brett,
Dear
what,
Mr. Jones.
Brett, what profession?
Include some pictures.
What profession would you not like to do?
I probably, even though I have a lot of respect for them, I probably wouldn't want to be a cop. It seems like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I respect what they do,
Yeah, way
but
too
it's
much
just it's not for me.
I wouldn't want any job with responsibility.
Yeah, or I could
Consequences.
get shot today at my job. Kiernan.
Kindergarten teacher.
Aren't you a kindergarten teacher?
I will.
Is this you? Are you putting in your resignation for kindergarten teacher on air tonight?
I will be a paid for free kindergarten teacher for 6 weeks, but
In basement place? To these two young child mannequins
I would actually
who are in desperate need of pants.
No, I just
An
think
updated band teacher.
kindergarten teachers having done it. That's why I say this. Like having done kindergarten age children as like a teacher and as like a caregiver, I don't wish that upon anyone.
Pantsless children.
It's the worst.
Oh, it's too funny.
I think I don't know. There's a lot of professions that I wouldn't like to do, but I've done some of them. I would say garbage man, but I've been one of those. It was awful.
Did you ever fall in?
No, but just no. Just let's leave it at no. I don't know. Coroner? Any kind of crime scene? Willem Dafoe's character in Boondock Saints.
And then there was a
He loved that. He seemed to love that job, though.
Starting back over here, Kiernan.
Okay.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Here's your heroin.
Here's your truckload of heroin that you've been talking about up until we started recording tonight.
Can I pass? What would I want the fictional God to say if I end up in the fictional heaven?
You can say, "Can I pass to him?" And then he'll just push that button, and
That's pretty good.
then the
Why don't you just say
trap door opens, and he
You
falls
want
straight
him to
down.
say it's not real.
Psych.
All right, okay. I guess I would want him to ask me what I want for the rest of my afterlife. And then
what would you say?
I don't know what I would say. I think I don't think you know the answer to that question until you live your whole life.
And then he gives out a great big sigh because you're at a stalemate.
No, like I would hope that
to the stairs and slide all the way down.
I mean, I would hope that if heaven exists the way that it's said to exist, where it's just like a utopia and you're happy and you have everything you want, that whatever I want when that time, that's what he would be able to provide me with, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd rather not get into personal wants right now.
Well, it's
we
not.
We had that conversation.
We're not gonna get the Oscar.
We had that conversation the other night to some extent. So,
Brett, if God exists, what do you want him? What do you want to hear him say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'd imagine something like, "You were kind of a dick, but in a good way."
Brigham.
I'd also want him to just like lay down the law in a very honest way, but still be like, "It's okay. You weren't Hitler."
Exactly.
I would just want to hear like, you were a good person. I think that'd be it.
Thank you.
What else could you want to hear from God? You know,
Cowabunga, dude.
Well, that too.
But you're more of a believer, though, aren't you?
Well, your question implies that you're talking to God, so I would, at that point, what else is there to hear? You know, like, oh yeah, you go over there. This fridge is open. Help yourself.
Good luck following that, Kale.
It just gave me an idea for my answers. Just, I think I'd want some proof from him.
Of what?
of God.
Like you and him. With
like show me around and like this isn't just
him?
this isn't no. I mean like before I believed it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could be
to
the
me
man
this
that
isn't some
sat
other
at the
dream.
table and dropped
Yeah,
something into
exactly.
his tea.
Am I just on DMT or is this real?
See, I'm surprised that you're more skeptical than Brigham. You approached it more of a skeptical angle, where you think Brigham would have just like, even if God told Brigham like, the Earth is round, Brigham,
But you'd
still be like, I don't know.
But your question was straight up: what would you want God? You know what I mean? It wasn't like, do you even think there's a God? You know, that wasn't so.
That's kind of where I went with it too, just straight up. This is what I mean. You're supposing he's there, so
yeah.
So let's just answer it
Yeah.
that way.
He's like, there's
I
a
think
six
Kieran
pack
took
in the
a more Richard
fridge.
Dawkins approach to it.
Hey,
So-
Dad.
Stephen Hawkins?
I'm here now.
Stephen Hawkins, he's fake.
Is he?
I want to eat a
Is
hamburger.
he the robot in the movie that we just watched?
Well,
think so,
what's our
actually.
theory? What's our theory, or someone's theory that
He's
someone's making
He's
Stephen
a
Hawking's voice?
Yeah,
Well, it
he's a
could be.
gelatinous
Like,
blob.
Steve-
It's very possible.
He could be nothing. He's just a vessel for just a.
They just wheel him out there.
Anybody
Is
can
that
be typing what
Heartbeeps
they
too?
want.
Are we living heart bleeps too? Are we saying heart bleeps now?
What was it actually? I told you, the longer we go,
I
the
think I
more
said-
I
I think
push
I
this
said
out.
heart-
You're losing it, right? That's a good thing that we talked about at the top of the show then. Well, you know what I think, because I've been such a non-believer, at least up until this point in my life, I arrived to the pearly gates, and he looks at me and he kind of nods like he understands, and we just kind of have that unspoken thing of like, yeah, I'm real, deal with it. And like I kind of like nod, and as I start to let it sink in and I start to deal with it, he nods, gives me a little smile, and like he kind of slightly motions towards the gates, and the gates open for me, and we just have that understanding. Like, kid, you've screwed up a few times in your life, but you know what? It isn't as bad as some of these.
You should see some of these other people.
You should have seen who we've actually let in.
It sounds like you're describing the ending to Babe.
That'll do,
I've never
Steve.
seen Babe.
What about Babe 2 Pig in the City?
Never seen Babe 2 Pig in the City either.
Now, some would argue You don't have to see Babe 1 to see Babe 2.
I wouldn't argue that. I think it's same goes for
But there will be that one scene where the farmer comes out into the field in the Dully, almost doing a crab-like walk, and you won't feel the same way about that duck's moment if you don't see Babe 1.
You're right. You hit the nail right on the head.
Man, I am so lost in this conversation. I have never seen either Babes.
Man, that's the best. Some would say,
Is it anything like
you
Homeward
don't
Bound?
have to see it to see part 2.
No.
Similar idea, except it takes place in England. It's decided will actually contend in a like dog showing contest because they didn't turn them into ham dinner.
Wow.
It's actually surprising that I remember that much about that movie.
Well, on that note, I think we're gonna say bye now.
Oh, I didn't realize that was all 10 questions.
Yeah, I should have followed that up with saying and final question, but I didn't. I'll add it in now. And final question. I'll just put that in front of.
Oh, I thought you were going to come up with a bonus question.
Well, the bonus question is are you having a good Valentine's Day?
I would not have spent it with 4 different individuals.
And there is nothing like celebrating Valentine's Day than with 4 other dudes in the basement. Am I correct?
Watching a romantic robot movie.
I think certain dudes would 100% agree with you. And I'm one of those dudes.
And thank you.
See what I did there?
Kiernan, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you
for
for having
joining
me.
us on movie night in Ontario.
Can we watch a different movie next time?
Well, we won't watch Heartbeeps again, if that's what you mean. It will be a different movie. Heartbeeps. Yeah, we'll watch Heartbeeps.
It's what a heart that swears on national TV.
A profane heart. Brett Chaborek, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Did you have a nice Valentine's Day tonight?
I did.
Yes. Are you going to be in trouble when you get home?
Well, she's probably still at the restaurant.
And we established that
the candles burning.
We established that was Burger King or McDonald's.
You're not going to pick her up from the restaurant.
Ooh,
All your shit's on the front
Well, she's getting some
lawn.
roast beef. That's very close to prime rib.
She has a coupon.
And is it like the cheddar cheese melts?
I'm not there.
2 for 1? With the curly
Very
fries?
close to prime rib.
Well, I'm assuming you at least gave her the coupon.
It's one of any large sandwich.
One of any large sandwich. Ooh. 2 for 1 or just they get a large sandwich?
1.5.
I can't wait to edit this part.
I'm trying to help him with his future lies that he's going to have to tell Katie one day.
Yes, sir.
Brigham, thank you for coming tonight, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Although there was no doubt. Brigham, 1 strike, still at 1 strike. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Will he climb or will he seep down to no strikes?
It's like Bitcoin.
Brigham, did you have a nice Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Are you going to be in trouble later for spending your Valentine's Day?
Yep.
Okay. I
100%.
apologize for that. Because we can all agree that it's Valentine's Day, right? It's definitely not February
You might
5th.
not ever see me again, that's how.
Did you say it's not February 6th? Because I
5th.
100% agree with that.
No, it's definitely not February 5th. Definitely not. Definitely.
It actually might not be February 5th.
No.
Still February 5th.
Kale,
Oh,
my lovely cohort in my left hand man.
Is that where the hand went?
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe I gave you a clue.
Weird.
Kale, until next time, good
Yes.
sir.
Adios.
Did you have a nice Valentine's Day?
Yep.
Good.
I've had worse. I've had better.
Yes. Has anyone had really bad Valentine's Day?
I don't really observe it.
No, I don't think
I
I've
don't
ever had a
really
bad Valentine's Day moment. I've celebrated it a few times, I guess. I'm sure I've been in relationships while...
I really enjoyed when Valentine's Day turned into Deadpool Day a few years ago.
Did you ever have a...
I know that happened.
Was there
I didn't
an
get
app?
the memo.
Deadpool released on Valentine's Day in 2016.
It's Deadpool Day now, though?
No, but for that year.
Is
that's
he
what
trying
I was
to
referring to it as?
eclipse
I was referring to it as Deadpool Day. Have I had a bad Valentine's Day? I don't think so.
Brett, bad Valentine's Day? Does this count?
This, in all honesty,
This Heartbeeps
because I don't really observe it,
and it's
just
actually
kind of another day that goes by fine. I guess heartbeeps would have to count.
So this is going to go down in infamy for you. Yes, I have had bad Valentine's Day.
Yes, this, as I said.
This. Well, I'm honored. And you're welcome.
Thank you.
That'll be $13.50. Brigham.
But I didn't even. Never mind.
I can't think of any. But maybe if I did, like, if there probably was a year where I was single, and I probably felt like the
Just
guy
jerked off profusely.
No, but maybe.
Massaged
But
a wet noodle for an hour and a half.
It was probably like that feeling, like the guy in Can't Buy Me Love walking by the party. You know, I told that before, where he's just like head down and there's a big party going on.
Like the Dane Cook.
Yeah,
Dane Cook joke.
yeah.
That's Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey. Yeah.
Crazy.
Great movie.
Crazy.
Great movie.
Kale.
Nope.
I know you've had bad Valentine's Day moments.
Have I?
You are rife with stories, sir.
Have I?
I'm hoping so. To save this segment.
Nope.
Well, let me tell you about a time that I went to Manchester with a girl who didn't care what I had to say.
Was this
She wanted poutine without cheese.
Is this like a first date? Or is this a fictional thing that you just made up?
No,
right now?
it's a real thing, but I'm not going to actually tell it because I told it last week.
Oh.
It wasn't Valentine's Day, though.
It wasn't Valentine's Day, no.
But she did want poutine without cheese.
Poutine without cheese.
So she wanted gravy and fries.
No.
Was this
God,
at
you're so wrong.
So you couldn't be more.
Was this at Nick the Greek? Because if you've ever had gravy and fries at Nick the Greek,
that's still a poutine
on Wyandotte. No, it's not poutine, but it's fucking amazing and it will change your life.
Do they have poutine without cheese?
Exactly.
There?
I don't know if they actually have poutine there. It's a Greek restaurant, so I don't know if they have poutine.
Cheese menu. Canadian food: hamburger,
pizza,
hamburger,
poutine, cheese,
hamburger, hot
no
dog.
cheese.
Cheese whiz?
What's your favorite romantic comedy?
I think it's too easy to say Harry and Sally, but
When Harry Met Sally?
yeah, well, you know
Mine's
what I mean.
Heartbeeps.
Is it good answer. Kale, where are you going? Kale! Brigham. What's your favorite romantic comedy?
There's a lot of good ones out there.
Is it Apollo 13?
Yeah.
We're talking about Armageddon.
Romantic comedy.
Did you just confuse Armageddon
Is
and Apollo
that
13?
Can't Buy Me Love? That's not a comedy, I guess.
That's
an
a
80s,
romantic
yeah.
comedy.
That's
Then
rom-com.
it's that one.
Yeah.
Hands down. Love it.
Have you guys ever seen Crazy Stupid Love?
Yes, that's a good one.
That movie's actually good.
Who's
Have you ever
in it?
seen About Time?
Steve Carell and
Yeah, it's
Ryan
awful.
Gosling.
You did not
Emma
with
With Amanda
Stone.
Seyfried?
No.
What's that one?
It's Rachel McAdams and Donald Gleason.
Oh, I've never seen it.
It's amazing because it's a rom-com like wrapped into a father-son story. And
Oh,
it's
I wanna
very
taco now.
emotional and emotionally impactful. It's good.
What's his favorite romantic comedy? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Why did they ever think that it was a good idea to put Dane Cook?
I didn't even
in
get asked about
romantic-
my favorite romantic comedy.
I'm coming. to
What
you.
you mean? What was the
Well, you
one
went to the
employee
next
of the
question.
month?
He's gonna say.
Well, I just
Mac
have a
and
question.
me.
Like, why did they? He's got at least two. He's got Good Luck Chuck as well. Why did anyone ever think that it was a good idea putting Dane Cook in a fucking romantic comedy?
One of them
Why
wasn't
did anybody
bad.
try to make Dane Cook happen?
Why
Dane
did
Cook
anyone
was
try
funny.
to make Dane Cook happen?
Dane
Yeah,
Cook
he
was
not
funny.
funny.
Yeah, he was
funny.
huge.
He had his
was
moments
huge, yeah.
where he was funny.
He was the top of the world for a year.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
least
but-
a year and a half.
Why?
He
Why?
was funny.
Because he infiltrated the colleges, man.
Didn't he rob a lot of comedians?
No, I don't really think so. They
That's-
all
that's-
do.
I mean, they
though.
say that about
Don't
Conan.
they have audio?
They
and
say that
video
about
proof?
Conan O'Brien stealing jokes.
They all do, man.
That man's a treasure. How
Oh, I
dare
love
you.
Conan.
Get out of my house.
I love Conan.
Okay.
Amy Schumer
back
is
into
the
my
same
house.
way. Like every joke she has, you can figure out someone else who said it first. So
Like Simpsons did it.
pretty much.
Brett. The least or a favorite?
I don't know. All I got is favorite.
What's your favorite romantic comedy?
Deliverance.
Oh.
See, that's someone's already used that joke. If you really want to tie everything back together. Him making some sarcastic comment coming. You didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I saw it coming.
Well, that's all I've got now. I've been waiting for this to wrap up for 45 minutes.
Oh, we're wrapping up. This is usually when the music plays over. We just need voices at the end of it. We're done.
All right.
Happy VD, boys.
Does anybody want to watch Field
VD.
Paradox?
Happy
right
VD.
Anybody?
Happy VD.
Venereal disease, right?
No, Valentine's
It's on
Day.
the mic, so we all have it now.
Yeah.
I hope you all are very successful with your pleasure units.
Oh yeah, well, I can't wait for you guys to leave actually because I'm about to consult my pleasure unit.
By yourself?
I really hope Brigham's laugh gets picked up
I
on
hope
the mic.
by himself based on the company in the
It was
room.
like a restrained laugh.
Well, if we're all leaving, maybe someone else is coming.
He's master. He also has a pleasure unit.
You think I have a pair more later tonight?
But you could surprise me. Tell us some kind.
The only one body that's going to be touching me is me. Episode 23 in the can.
Yeah.